all about the journey. And where were you going? Fire in my eyes, I keep on growing. This is a little personal, the LA Project Show.
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Yeah, we in the building for another episode of the LA Project. Just doing a quick stream today. Had some videos that I have saved since forever, so I thought that we would go over some and review some of these subjects that are not being touched or tackled at the moment. Shouts out to everybody that's watching right now, both on the vertical and the horizontal side. We got Riaz in the building. What's going on, young Riaz? We got Creative Solutions up in here. Good day to you, Creative. Hope that you're having a great weekend. All right. Y'all make sure to hit that like button. It's absolutely free. No matter what side that you're on, go ahead and tap that, tap that, tap that. All right. Let me see here. Okay. And the music is loud. There we go. Let me turn this down. All right. How's everybody doing today? Hope that you're enjoying your Saturday. Hope the weather is good. Hope that you guys are finding something interesting to do or just, relaxing if you need to. I get it. I get it. I had a pretty chill day today. But that's usually how I like my weekends to go. You know what I'm saying? I can rush and run throughout the week. You know what I'm saying? But on the weekends, I like to just chill. Shouts out to Almond Eyes. What's going on, sweetie? Thanks for checking in on the vertical side. Appreciate you. All right. So I wanted to talk about something a little different today. Because one thing that I always kind of pay attention to and I like to highlight a lot is like the root of things. We get the end result in a lot of situations, you know what I mean? Like, especially because we're experiencing each other as adults. But usually, there's a combination of nurture versus nature, or a combination of nature and nurture. I'm sorry about that. When it comes to how we process things, how we end up, I guess, developing ourselves and our self-esteem. And it usually always stems back to some type of childhood situation. So I wanted to look at something else in terms of, in terms of just us as people, how we can maybe get along, maybe why some of us feel this way about ourselves and our people that we do. And, I think all of us have kind of experienced this in one way or another. And I'm speaking about colorism and featurism. All right. Now, a lot of people are familiar with what colorism is, but I like to also establish, like a baseline of what we're talking about so we don't get too confused or get too far off topic. All right. So I do have some definitions here. Colorism is discrimination or preferential treatment based on skin tone, usually favoring lighter skin over darker skin within the same racial or ethnic group. Now, I like the fact that they added in, this can happen within, it's within the same racial or ethnic group, which means it extends further out than just black folks. You know what I'm saying? This happens in a lot of different areas because of colonialism and just marketing and the way that they like to push certain images, right? But this can happen within the Latin community, Asian community, any type of community. But it's just really just paying attention and having a different response when it comes to just the simple tone of someone's skin. So I know a lot of us are familiar with that. I know that I am. Um Not necessarily to where it's super obvious, but at the same time, like when I started getting out into the world and just interacting with people, getting jobs and things like that, that's when I really started hearing, oh, you're light skinned, you're light skinned. I never really paid attention to it, believe it or not. um as a kid, I always was outside playing somewhere, so the sun, we weren't allowed to come inside until the street lights came on. Those were the good old days, right? So I don't know, for me personally, I didn't feel like I was considered quote unquote light. I always felt like I was brown because what I'm saying, like I said, playing out in the sun, you can't help but to catch a tan. But when I started getting, like I said, when I got older, that's when I really started to I guess get other people's opinions and perceptions of me. Which, I mean, it ain't nothing that I'm ashamed of, nothing that I have a problem with. But what I do have a problem with sometimes is the assumption that just because I am a certain skin tone, I'm going to act a certain way, or that I am a certain way. I personally I don't like that. I don't like that type of judgment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't, because there's so much more that goes to a person, you know what I'm saying, in terms of their characteristics, their personality, than just their skin tone, right? But it's something that especially black folks have been hung up on since we got here to America. All right. And we can assume how that happened, why that happened. But it's still going on, and it's unfortunate because, like I said, it has different psychological effects on the young people, who is absorbing and getting this type of information, and this usually the individuals that don't have the foundation of their self-esteem built yet to know who they really truly are and what their worth is. They're still trying to figure out their worth and their place in this world. And it can have some pretty detrimental effects on on people's further on their decisions further on in life. Let's take and I talked about this a couple of shows ago, just about this whole plastic surgery wave. It's getting younger and younger, when it comes to comparison culture, and also just trying to be accepted. And it just indicates how uncomfortable a lot of people are in their own skin. um but where did this come from? Where did this start? It's hard to tell 100%, but we can backtrack a little bit. I do have a video of a conversation that took place within actually some individuals who are part of the hip hop community, which I thought it was very interesting because, in my opinion, music, especially hip hop, R&B, things like that, like colorism and featurism was like that was the main thing that was going on. Most of the we had the Melissa Fords for a while, but even back in the 80s, you had Vanities, Apollonias, the different artists that would come out and they would be rushed into stardom. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that these people, aren't talented, but what I'm saying is I believe that there was a deeper reason of why they were chosen. Okay. It's there's a phrase for it, the face, the quote unquote face of a company. Usually that means it or indicates a spokesperson. And that's usually, picked strategically. for the general public to feel a certain way, and that's usually comfortable with the company or product that that face is attached to. And when we talk about marketing and advertisement, you know, in music videos especially, you know, it was the women with the lighter skin, with the racially ambiguous features, slimmer noses. Yeah, I mean, I think it's changing a little bit, but at the same time, it's like that was all that we knew. That was all that we were surrounded by. You know, I know that's what I was surrounded by growing up. And I can only imagine what it's done, you know, like I said, or how it's made other people feel in terms of their self-worth, or what they might go through in terms of steps to get some type of acceptance or validation from the world, because everybody just wants to belong. Now, like I said, I brought up self-esteem because it develops around and it focuses on outside approval. Children, you know, they usually will wonder if they are pretty, or if it's a young boy, if they are handsome, um, or why somebody might be liked more. You know, sometimes it's character, sometimes it's behavior stuff, but children don't know how to decipher that type of information, you know, so they'll go to something very superficial, like the color of their skin. Um, And we can even talk about and even consider the internalized racism that comes into play, you know, where we think that certain images are better, cleaner, um, you know, they're good, you know, basically, and the other is bad. And there was an actual study that was put out that did illustrate that. It was based off of, and they used dolls. If you guys are familiar, let me see here. What is it called? I just had this pulled up. Give me one second, y'all. It's basically it's the doll test, you know, the doll experiment. I know it's called something else. Give me one second. Let me look in my playlists real quick. It's referred to as the Clark doll experiment, and it's named after Dr. Kenneth Clark. Um, and basically, you just kind of like, this happened originally back in 1988, and it was just kind of displaying the effects that desegregation has kind of like, you know, for segregation to desegregation, and kind of like where we are in terms of self-image and things like that. It was very interesting. I actually do have that available for us to watch. It's really quick. It's only like a moment. There we go. It's only a minute long video, but we're going to go ahead and review that really quick, just so y'all can see exactly what type of, you know, just on a surface level, what type of effect that colorism has on young children. Let me see here. What's going on, Willing to Win? Happy Saturday to you. Thanks for pulling up. You guys make sure to hit the like button if you have not, subscribe if you have not, share it out to somebody who might need something to watch while I get this video pulled up into the studio. Give me one second. And we all know how this goes, so let me make this small. All right. Now, I know that we probably think that you know, like I said, these things shouldn't even matter. You know, we hear about, even to this day, with grown-ups, you know, on YouTube, talking about people who are exhibiting light skin you know, behavior and this, that, and the third, which I'm just like, okay, that we're still following this whole Clark experiment when we make comments like that. And I know it's going to be in jest or whatever, you know, we're going to say it jokingly, but at the same time, when certain jokes or certain, you know, when certain comments keep being made, you know, you have to wonder, like, you know, there has to be a bit of truth. And I do believe that there's a bit of truth in every joke. You know, the rest can be fabricated, but it comes from a place that's actually like factual. That's the only way that the punchline is going to work, right? So let's go ahead and get this the Clark doll experiment pulled up. And again, this is just to show and from a surface level of what colorism does to children especially. So let me get this pulled up here. Okay. Think about it. There we go. All right, let's get this pulled up.
Is the black doll? And which one is the white doll?
That one.
Which doll is the pretty doll? Which doll is the nice doll? Which doll is the bad doll? Which doll is the nice doll? And which doll is the bad doll? And why is that doll pretty?
Because she's white and he has 2 eyes.
Which doll is the ugly doll? Why is that doll ugly?
Because he's black.
Which doll looks most like you?
Like me.
Yeah, which one looks like you?
And that one.
Okay.
That doll.
Child. Now, I know, like I said, I tried to get the shortest, most concise video just to convey the message. But when they actually made this, the experiment, it was well done. It like I said, it established some things. They made sure that the children can identify, of course, which one was white, which one was black. They started asking them more of their opinion type of questions, which one is prettier, which one is the good one, which one is the nice one. And they always picked the white doll. And then towards the end, they established the fact that those black children knew that they looked more like the quote unquote bad doll than the good doll. And you can just see the look on their faces. I mean,
Is the black doll?
Give me a second. They're forgetting these things. These videos just jumped to life, child. Let me fast forward a little bit. All right.
The doll ugly?
Because he's black.
Which doll looks most like you?
Like me.
Yeah, which one looks like you?
And that one.
Okay.
That doll.
Look at her little face. It's like everything came, like she started connecting the dots a little bit, but at the same time, like I said, what do you think, that type of those types of responses, in terms of how they feel about themselves, how do you think that they're going to move in the world? Do you think that they're going to, be able to show other people respect and be able to respect themselves? It becomes very difficult after a while. Now, and this is, it's crazy. Like I said, I've never really dealt with this, but I know individuals who have. And kids, they'll notice certain things, and especially when you live in a household, black people, we come in all different shades and colors. That's one thing that I wish that we did understand. Even if your parents are a certain complexion, you can come out a different one. I just showed that through an Instagram family that the wife does content in terms of just her cooking and plating for her children. Everybody's visible. And the 2 parents are brown skin, African couple, and they have 2 light-skinned children with hazel eyes, greenish eyes. And that's possible. The things that belong to black people, it just seems like they just are reduced to anything that's unattractive. And I just don't believe that. I don't believe that. Either we are the first people on the planet, therefore we make everything, or we're not. We have to pick a struggle. We have to be consistent on our thoughts and our belief systems. Okay. So black, to me, is more indicative to the texture of your hair, the amount of melanin in your skin, and of course, your features. Now, they don't have to be super exaggerated. I believe that, yeah, Black people, we do have, we have nice thick lips, we have wider noses, so much so that other races are going under the knife and needle in order to achieve these same looks, right? So obviously they can't be ugly. They can't be ugly. But sometimes, like I said, I know individuals who sometimes they got it the worst at home or in their own neighborhoods. You might have a little bit of sibling rivalry. And again, we're kids, right? And we're petty when we're kids, So if you have a brother or a sister that's a different complexion than you, I hope that the treatment is the same. But parents and relatives will sometimes unintentionally compare the children. And I hate to say that. At one point in time, there was, the desire for, good hair and certain types of features. And it's almost like people were purposely going out to find the right combination of whoever in order to produce this designer child, which to me just lets me know that you want a child for the wrong reason. Like you can't determine if your child is even going to be perfectly healthy. They might be born with with a I don't know, like they might be born with a hearing problem. They might not be able to see. I have a cousin that was born with a rare heart condition. You just never know. The best thing when it comes to being a parent is actually wanting to be a parent instead of wanting to be a certain type of parent to a certain type of child, But then again, like I said, that for people to feel that way, it makes me wonder where their self-worth is for themselves. Do they not see themselves as being beautiful? Do they not believe that their child will be beautiful regardless? It doesn't seem to be, the people who are caught up in this. And I'm not saying that everybody is, but again, we're gonna pull up a discussion and a video that kind of highlights some individuals that's in hip hop, and basically just kind of go over some different points. And like I said, hip hop, in my opinion, hip hop did a lot of damage or a lot of reinforcement when it comes to perpetuating these types of stereotypes. Now, I'm not sure if anybody else has ever seen these documentaries. If you are familiar with Bill Duke at all, he was he was in a few movies. I know he was in the movie The Predator. He was the gentleman who says, you fucked up, right? You done fucked up, right? And I can't remember what movie that's from, but that bald-headed gentleman, chocolate gentleman, that is Bill Duke. He has a documentary for both light-skinned and dark and brown skin. It's called, or considered dark, but I say more brown skin. And they're called For Dark Girls and for Light Girls. I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen them. Let me pull up the posters at least so you guys can see what the image looks like. You can look up on YouTube somewhere as well. Let me see here. For Black girls. All right. Oh, no, it's For Dark Girls. My bad. For Dark Girls. There it is, the movie. All right. So, and these were really good. I mean, they really they interviewed individuals who, have some type of effect long term when it comes to how they were perceived or how much the hue of their skin or their skin tone was highlighted or how they were treated because of it. And it really puts things into perspective. If you guys haven't seen those documentaries, I highly suggest that you check them out. This is what it looks like for Dark Girls. All right. So that's exactly what it looks like. If you want to go look it up on Netflix or something, And then see if we can find this one. I'm not finding that one, but hold on, give me a second. Give me a second. I know what to do. Let me just look up Bill Duke movies. Oh, he was in the Menace to Society. That's what it was. And this is actually him. Give me a second. All right, this is actually Bill Duke. So y'all know who this is, but he felt compelled, to actually put together these documentaries. Also, Chris Rock has a really good one about the straightening, about the hair industry, basically within the African American community. Is called Good Hair. I guess he was inspired after he had his daughters, and kind of like was aware of the different challenges that they would have to face. And so he went into the actual and looked deeper into the hair industry, where the source of where we get all this Brazilian silky and Malaysian hair and all this other stuff, and what chemical perms really do to us, what Kanakalon, that braiding hair, what that shit is really made out of. Like, he really brought it to the forefront. So shouts out to those individuals. Y'all please make sure to go check those out in your free time. I think it'll be very beneficial, because like I said, this is something that African Americans have had to deal with for quite a while, in terms of just trying to establish our own self-identity, our own self-worth, and also just to unify each other as a people. Like, we're all, all the hues are beautiful, and one doesn't make you more, or does not make somebody else less. That's what we need to get into our brains, into our system. We got Kevin and Sales in the building. Salute to him. He says, staying sucker free is the campaign. Absolutely. And if anybody wants to come, like I said, with that, because you light skinned child, please, like, that lets me know, that type of deflection or projection lets me know what they are focused on and what they think about me. Because if I haven't said that about myself, then that's obviously not how I feel. All right. So word to the wise out there. Okay, let's keep going. Like I said, we can talk about the media reinforcement. Like, it's interesting that we're going to see a video featuring people who are in media, who are in the music industry. And again, they definitely help to perpetuate or to keep up with the light skin, dark skin, whatever, because I think it's more recently that more brown skin is being featured as the main models, but they usually were always, like I said, more on the lighter hue, had racial, ambiguous type of features and things like that, while the rest of us, as a general public, are sitting at home watching and wishing that we could be them, not knowing that we're perfectly fine just the way that they are. Now, I had a family member who grew up with that type of family rivalry thing. And the craziest thing about it to me was that they were basically the same skin tone. They were the same complexion, but for some reason, one of the siblings just felt like they just had to point it out and say it in a negative way to their sibling. When it's just like they didn't even understand or realize that they were talking and disrespecting themselves at that moment. Now, I know that, like I said, there's more extreme cases. Some adults, I swear, in our community, they're very, very harmful and very hurtful when it comes to, just even if it's, like I said, a joke, sitting there and calling your kids names. If it's anything outside of their name, or if it's not a term of endearment, a nappy headed, this, that, and the third, that's not what's up. I can't even stand that word. I like tangled. Okay. Like, words mean things, so if I'm having a bad day or whatever, I don't even say that. I don't even claim that. I say it's interesting. The day is interesting. You feel me? But yeah, I don't like certain words that we use to describe ourselves or each other, because it's like we're just different, and black people are beautiful. I don't give a damn. Okay. All right. So we kind of can understand and get an idea of where a lot of these negative thoughts come from, right? Like I said, even about ourselves and people who look like us, that identity confusion. And even sometimes, let's talk about the identity confusion sometimes, because we all know, like I said, whether you getting, if it's said in a loving way or not, that you black, right? But then sometimes, just to create or connect with some type of beauty or value, you'll hear the response of, well, I'm not that dark. I'm not that, good hair. Like I said, good hair versus bad hair. People trying to avoid the sun to avoid getting darker. It's a lot deeper than we think. I know that a lot of people think that it's just words to call each other African booty scratchers and N words and nappy headed and just all kinds of just negative stuff, but y'all don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially, like I said, if they're not, if their family isn't building them back up or giving them some type of reinforcement, if people in the household are walking around with their original faces, no plastic surgery, things like that, the kids got a better chance of growing out of and ignoring the simple bullying that a lot of people do. But we also know that a lot of people do not have that type of fortitude. They don't have that type of strength, and a lot of people never get over that type of stuff, man. They never get over that type of stuff, and you can hear it, you know what I'm saying, in their conversations every day. You can tell by how they regard, of just strangers who are a part of their community. They see them as less than. They don't expect much from them. And I think that is terribly sad, but I understand, like I said, where it comes from. I just like to point stuff out to give people things to think about. So when we engage in this type of behavior, we might refrain or at least pause. Okay. We got 18th letter in the building. Shouts out to you, my good sir. Hope that you're having a good day at work, or, well, actually, I don't know. I hope that you're not working today. I hope that you get to relax. Like I said, it's the weekend. But let's get ready to pull up this it's not an interview. It's a compilation of different perspectives and different things, featuring some individuals from hip hop, some faces that we know, some modern. Excuse me. Hold on, just 1 second. Jeez. Ooh. Excuse me, y'all. Oh, okay. Featuring some names that we know. We don't have to go back into the day in academia or whatever. We got some individuals that can talk layman's with us. So let me go ahead and pull this up. Let me get this out the studio first. And if you guys haven't seen it, let me see here. Yeah, if you watch the replay, you'll be able to see the let me see here, the doll experiment, the Clark doll experiment, the infamous doll experiment that was conducted back in 1988 to kind of just show what type of effect these comments has on the human psyche and our self-esteem. All right, so let me get this other one pulled up really quick. All right. All right. All right, here we go. Let me just get this added to the studio. Out there,
conversations with Nick about. I'm like, look, bro, we got some light skinned.
Hold on. Before we get started, because I know we were talking about Featurism, so let me get this pulled out as well. We got the definition of colorism up on the screen. Now that we got an understanding of that, let's pull up the Featurism. And that is the bias based on physical features commonly associated with race, such as nose shape, lip size, hair texture, eye shape, or facial structure. In many Black communities, features perceived I didn't even finish it. My bad. Hold on. perceived as closer to European beauty standards, okay, are often rewarded socially. My bad, y'all. Okay, so that's what featurism is more focusing on the actual, physical characteristics. And again, we look like our parents, and there's nothing wrong with any of our features. Like I said, if that was the case, folks would not be running out left and right to go under the knife and needle in order to look like us. But let's listen to this video really quick. I'm going to drop the link. If anybody would like to come up, we're going to go over this together. All right. And also, let me see here. We just got a light 5-piece goal in terms of donations. Any denomination is fine. Whatever you can spare for the channel. It helps it grow. It keeps independent conversations like this going. And let me just put this up on the screen, just so y'all know where you can donate to. All right. Yeah, there's a light 5, y'all. There's a light 5. All right, let me go ahead and get this link dropped. I was supposed to have a guest today, but I don't know. Maybe they fell asleep. Let me go ahead and get this sent out. Whoops, that's not it. That's not what I want to do. There we go. And let's keep going with this.
Girls, we gotta raise. We in trouble, my nigga. What we gonna do?
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Rose here, and I'm back with a new video. Today, we're going to be talking about colorism and futurism and how it can deeply affect how people think when having children. So, this topic was brought to you by a few people and a few examples. But first, let's talk about some things. Colorism and futurism can deeply affect how people think about having children because they can shape their ideas about beauty, worth, safety, and social acceptance long before someone becomes a parent. So, colorism is preferential treatment of light skin tones within the same racial or ethnic group over those who have.
All right, y'all. Let me let somebody up to the stage real quick. First one up, we got Kevin. We got Rush up in the building. Buto Network. What's going on?
What's popping? Salute. I think this is an incredible subject matter to have, man, because there is a lot of colorism that goes on within our community, my man.
Do you think that, everybody always wants to say, it's 2026, but what do you think the effects of us kind of keeping up this type of attitude towards each other? Do you think it has the same effect that it used to? Do you think that people even care anymore?
Oh no, people definitely care. That's why a lot of these rappers would expound on, bagging like a so-called red bone or a light-skinned Hispanic lady, like we're kind of conditioned to hate our ethnic background and uplift anything that's light-skinned,
Right. Yeah,
that's just my personal opinion.
I've even noticed that when, if you travel outside the country, it's like it's all the same,
Yeah, I mean, there's I've lived in Central America. I've traveled to Dominican Republic. I've been to Haiti. I've been to Costa Rica. I've lived in Panama for about 3 years. So there is a level of colorism, but certain places like Panama, they're pretty open to deal with dark-skinned people. The colorism is not as bad as like Dominican Republic. Now, if you were to go to Dominican Republic, there is a lot of colorism, a lot of xenophobia. There's certain clubs in Dominican Republic, they won't let you in if you're 2 shades darker than a light-skinned Dominican. So there is large portion of colorism when you travel outside the country. Yeah.
I mean, hold on. So they would deny admittance to certain places just because they're certain skin tone?
Yeah,
They won't let you in
of
the
course.
spot?
Yeah, man. Yeah, because
Wow.
they're the Dominicans out there. You know, they have a strong hatred of Haitians. So, like, say for instance, a black
Mm,
Dominican will try to get into a club, they will assume that he's Haitian and not letting him in the
okay.
club because he's dark skinned.
Wow. Okay, so I guess they got I guess like a tribal type of situation, in
Not
terms
only
of like,
tribal, like okay, most Dominicans they hold the ideology of Rafael Trujillo. He's a famous dictator that massacred massacred a bunch of Haitians trying to cross the border. You know what I mean? So
mm,
because you're dark skinned, if you're a dark skinned Dominican individual, they will mistreat you because they will assume that you're a Haitian.
wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was like that out there.
It's
That's
real
funny
bad.
because like that's one of my favorite like types of salons to go to, and I swear by them. I
Yeah,
tell everybody, be
they
like,
hate
shoot, I
black
go to
folks,
the
man.
Dominicans to get that roller set. You feel
Man,
me? Like,
if you're proud of being black, they hate you for that, man. You should do your research on Rafael Trujillo.
hold
That
on,
dude,
let me write that down.
he
Go ahead, I'm listening.
that dude, he is known to mistreat anybody that's dark skinned. You know?
Damn.
Yeah.
Rafael.
And most Dominicans they hold that ideology of Rafael Trujillo.
How you spell his last name?
Trullio. Trujillo.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay, wow. Okay, I definitely will look him up because that might be, that would definitely help with my research and stuff like that. Just really quick, wanted to say what's up to we got Dusty in the building. We got Zero Tats in here, Inspector. He being funny, talk about they denied me in a spot in the Santo Domingo for being too good looking. Hey, we all got our battles, right? We all got our crosses to bear. But no, were you familiar with the doll experiment that I played
Yeah.
earlier?
Actually, it's a case study from what's his name? What's with the father of psychology? Well, I mean, it's not based. He didn't do it, but it's based off his style of psychology. But yeah, I'm aware of the the white doll and the black doll, and majority of the kids pick the white doll to be good, even the black ones.
Right. And that's why I was like, even like towards the end when they brought it back full circle, when it's just like, okay, you're saying that this doll is the bad, ugly, dirty, whatever, but then they asked, well, what doll do you look like? And they pointed to the same damn doll. I was like, I don't know. In my mind, I can just see their little soul just shrink down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Like,
you gotta understand, like within our community, like
mhm.
our kinky hair is considered to be bad hair, and I hate when my people say that having kinky hair is bad hair. Is no, your hair is beautiful, man. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Embrace it, man. You don't need to perm your hair. You don't need to do all that, man. You're perfect the way you are. You know what I mean? But these are the self hatred that we always look over, man. And it's time to recognize it and overcome this self hatred and start embracing our ethnic background, man. Because like a lot of us, we dating outside the race, man. And the reason why a lot of our people's doing that is because they've been conditioned to believe that the lighter your skin is, the better of an individual and productive person within society you are. You know what I mean?
Damn.
That's just my personal opinion. You know what I mean? People that have like biracial babies, man, they trying to live through their child because they wish they were that light skinned with white people hair. You know what I mean? But that's just my personal opinion. I'm not putting that on your jacket. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
No, you good. We'll talk about it. I'll bring it up in just a second. Let me bring somebody else that's waiting in the back. Let's bring up the 18th letter. What's up, Rakim?
What's going on, LA? How you been?
Chilling like a villain. I've been good. How about you?
I can't call it.
Okay.
Where do I start with this?
Child, anywhere you like. This is
Um,
a mess.
it's been going on for a long time. This, besides the argument of colorism,
Mm-hmm.
it's just that when you have educated, ignorant people, uneducated, ignorant people breeding children, you're producing a lot of the times more uneducated, ignorant people, depending on the
Yeah.
circumstances, depending on the way that they live. And then unfortunately, the people that are, a little bit more have been taught, to think different, to think in a
Mm-hmm.
more educated and critically think, we're going to have to deal with these people in society. That's the children that are being birthed today. That the negative children may possibly cross paths with the children that comes from stable households.
Right.
Um, I don't know. I don't even know where to start with this, man. But yeah, it's been a lot of things that has been instilled in us. But one thing I
Mm-hmm.
really can't stand about the black community that I think that we're never honest about, we just don't want to be honest and say what it is. Like you have some black people that just don't want to be honest and say, look, I don't like being black. I actually hate being black, but I feel like I'm stuck over here with black folks. So whether I be by myself, I'd rather still be over here because I ain't got nowhere else to go. And then
Mm.
you can hear when a lot of people talk in a lot of these different spaces and stuff like that. It's like people think it's real cool to be ignorant and just not really, you know,
Yeah.
um, and they pass down these ignorant ways to their children, you know, and it's sickening, man. And it's been going on for decades upon decades. This ain't nothing new. But
No, it's not.
to what the brother said, even with the whole colorism situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Colorism, I understand that it can be caused by, but colorism can also push people away. Because I remember growing up, I've seen dark complected girls who just didn't like light complexion girls just because they was light skinned, and they
Yeah.
felt like they got more attention. And these girls ain't done nothing to nobody, and in
Right.
some cases they'd jump them, uh,
Cut their
and
hair,
cut their hair.
put gum in
Um,
it. Yeah.
but
Mm-hmm.
I've seen one light skinned girl had to bring a razor and cut a girl face up because
Damn.
they was trying to jump and kept on attacking a bullier. And here's the thing: we can't make no excuses for that. It's
Right.
no
Absolutely
excuse
not.
for that. It's no, and that's one thing. I love my people, but I feel like we make too many damn excuses when it comes to certain things that we shouldn't make excuses for. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
and that's my biggest that's my biggest pet peeve with a lot of this. We talk about keeping it real. But we don't really like to keep it real with each other. We really don't. And but even with that thing, I'm not saying colorism don't exist, but I think the black community is one of the least colorist out of all of these other communities because they have a
Mm.
strict, like when you go into the Hispanic community, they got a term called mejora la raza,
Mm.
blanqueamiento, making whitening the race, make
Now
the race better.
it means
Oh wow.
it means to better the race, and it's pronounced mejor la raza. I
Yeah,
mean,
mejora,
but yeah,
mejora la raza. And
and that means
if you
that
know
better the race.
anything,
Yeah.
and it goes to show you, right, how the minds of the people that colonized us, it still lingers in our subconscious. Because if you know anything about the Spaniards, LA, the
Mm-hmm.
Spaniards believe, you know how the British believed in the one drop rule with us, right? To
Right.
completely separate, the Spaniards believe in breeding out the blacks. So
Mm.
the second that they landed in a lot of these different islands and stuff like that, and
Mm-hmm.
with of course with the Indians, they even had a caste system on
Right.
the chart. They believed in, we're just going to breed them out. We're going to keep intermarrying or just having sex with these people until they become lighter, because we're going to bring in more Spaniards and more Europeans, and if you look at Argentina, well, they did more methods to get rid of their black population. But if you look at Argentina is almost completely white Hispanic now.
Yeah. Majority of them are all white. Yeah.
So, and I think we don't really pay attention, and we got to understand that we haven't had our own promotion. But I'm still not for ostracizing light complected people within our community, and I don't like that shit. I really don't. So when people be trying like, because you'll hear people
Well, I mean
insecurity when
that
they talk.
stems from like
Rush, are you talking?
it sounds like he was
Oh,
still
there you
talking. I
go.
didn't want to be rude. I stopped talking.
Oh no, you
Oh no,
good.
no,
You
I'll let
let
you.
me
I'll
just
let you.
let me bring one person up that's in the backstage really quick, and then you got it, Rush. Okay, let's go ahead and let Reese from Philly in here, my problem child. What's up, Reese? All right, go ahead, Rush. You got it.
Yeah, I mean that's like and this is like a ripple effect from like Jim Crow, from the Jim Crow era. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times, you got the house Negro, then you got the field Negro.
Right.
That stems from that too. So a lot of times with this systemic racism within America, like when it comes to jobs and any form of opportunity that you can get within our society, the lighter
Hmm.
complected you are, the more accepted you are from the dominant race. So that's where that frustration stems from, and it's unfortunate that our own people kind of like use the light skinned people as a punching bag for that, and like
Mm.
if you're from any urban environment, a lot of times the light skinned cat will have to be a lot more aggressive than the dark skinned cat,
Mm.
because they will assume that hey, because you're light skinned, because your pigment is light skinned, I don't think you're an alpha to hold your own, so we gonna try you.
But see,
You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
wow.
and I just wanted to respond
That
to that.
Albie Shore stuff.
But
Thought that
see,
they were
like
soft. That's
when I was
crazy.
growing up though, LA, that was like the light skin and dark skin stuff was between the women. The dudes, when I was growing up, nobody looked at
Really?
you like, yeah, it wasn't like with the dudes, it wasn't that, oh, you light
Yeah,
skin,
yeah,
you
I
soft and none
agree,
of
and
that.
I should have been
It
more
wasn't,
specific on that. Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
No,
because
you're
I
totally
have
right.
one of my cousins in my family is light complected, and everybody knew not to fuck with him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like when I saw when I saw the thing, and the funny thing is, right, with that whole situation, what it really comes down to, especially like on the side with the girls and the colorism thing. No, like one thing I noticed, it doesn't matter what you do to validate. Like you can be like, I love me some chocolate girls. I do this, and this. We put them at the forefront, but it doesn't mean nothing because secretly, what a lot of people are looking for is that global validation. It's almost like when
Mm.
you try to validate as a black person, that don't mean shit because you just a black person. It don't mean
Right.
nothing. I want to be I want to be validated by the other groups of people. I want to be thirsted after, like I think white women are thirsted after, which black men don't even thirst. It's this whole idea too that black men just be chasing other races of women. That shit gotta stop, man. That shit gotta stop because a lot of the times those races of women like black men. They be pursuing black men. You literally got women of other groups that go to learn about black culture and black history just so they can be so they can learn more about black men and be around black men.
Mm. Well,
But
that's
we
something I wasn't aware of.
oh
they're
yeah, but
actually
see
they're
we
actually
think
taking
but
time out to learn.
yes, but see here's the
Because it seems
thing.
like most
We
black men are taking time to learn the other woman's culture so they can go over there and be able to meet the family and all that type of stuff.
I'm
Okay.
talking about just like in the everyday thing in the United States. Now it is some black men that do learn about the other cultures of
They
women
learn the
and different
language
stuff
and
like that.
everything, shouty.
Yeah, but see, if we start appreciating each other more, that
Hmm.
wouldn't be a situation where we would have to worry about that. And
Well,
another thing,
okay, I'm sorry. Go
okay,
ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, no,
But
no.
because I'm not gonna lie to you, when I lived in Des Moines, Iowa, them white
Hmm.
girls was bold. Them white girls was bold. Now I didn't
Hmm.
deal with any of them, but they was quick to come up and tell you, how you doing, what's your name, and did you want to go? They will offer you like some of
But
them. I'm not saying that's everybody, but I'm not saying that's everybody.
but
But that was okay.
but
Go
you
ahead.
kind of take okay, so yes, in America, white is the standard, of beauty and all kinds of stuff. So it's like I think that you're kind of leaving out of the equation how fortified, what I mean, that group of people is in terms of their self value, their worth, like, all that type of stuff versus our group. that has a lot of internalized racism. You know, like it's
But
obvious that they've been taught to love themselves in one way or the other. The whole world celebrates them. You know what I mean? But to take into consideration what we've been taught, you know what I mean, and how a lot of us, you know, internalize that. I mean, of course, if a white person comes and just like, you know, let you know about yourself in terms of, you know, complimentary, yeah, it's gonna
no. You got it wrong on that, LA. And like, don't get me wrong, I understand what we've been through as a people and the internalized racism and internalized self-hatred, but when are we going to keep using that as an excuse? Because we know what the issues are now. My thing is that if I have a black person standing next to me that's treating me horribly because they have some internal self-hate issues where they view me as them and they think less of them, so they view me as less than them, versus somebody that genuinely want to get to know me of a other group, who is that person gonna pick? That's that's common sense.
but I'm just wondering what makes you believe it's a genuine want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I know a lot of well, not a lot, but I know quite a few mixed couples where the woman is white, and I don't really see any. I mean, they are tolerant, of course. They know what comes along with it, but I don't see any extra effort being made into really like trying to know about our history and stuff like that. I don't know.
Well, I don't
Just
even
think it
see any
feels good
effort.
for
Like,
somebody to
I don't.
love you and to accept you and make you feel good about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, I
yeah,
think that's the basics in being in a relationship to start with. That's
but
like that's the absolute basic.
so I think the one thing that is missing that colorism causes is a lot of self-doubt, and it affects the people's self-esteem who are practicing it. You know what I'm saying? So if you've been told, whether it be about by your family members, you know what I mean, the people in your neighborhood, all the, you know, whether it be about your hair texture, about your skin tone, about your nose or whatever, when you go to a different group of people and they just like, oh yeah, like shoot, I know, like it's just gonna feel good. But what makes you think that is genuine like interest? Because we could think of the flip side, right? Well, we've seen these things go wrong, and whether it be, what was that dude's name that ended up getting shot in his own apartment by the police that he was kind of messing with on the low.
He wasn't.
Like,
He
I
wasn't.
don't know.
He wasn't.
Sometimes, you know, those
He didn't
types of
even he didn't
partnerships
even
end
know
up
her.
horrible.
He didn't even know her. You talking about
He
the
didn't-
lady that shot the man she entered his apartment. They didn't know each other
at all.
at
She just
all.
picked a random person and it just happened to
She
be
thought
unlocked.
she was partially drunk and she thought that was her apartment.
And then
And
she
when
shot him.
she opened the key and saw him sitting in there eating ice cream on his couch,
But
and she
entered
shot him.
in the wrong
She
apartment.
didn't even know him. And I'm not saying that's not a scenario that can happen, especially when you're dealing with interracial groups. But you got to understand, I don't know if black people don't hear themselves sometimes, but black people speak to other black people so harshly. You would think that it was damn near that they damn near white supremacists.
Oh
If
yeah, I
you
mean, you
got
got a
if
lot
you
of
got
those.
if you
Brother.
got black people, if you got
Yeah.
black people, like if you got young girls that say, I don't want to talk to him. Who is he? You have girls too. Like I say, I knew one boy. I remember these girls laughed at this boy's complexion, talking about he was too burnt and everything. It was this boy I went to school with named DeMarco. I remember the teacher was pointing out we all had various shades. Some of them was like light skin, like the lightish brownish skin, like Reese. Some of them was light yellow. I was brown skin, and the teacher was pointing to us, and she was like, "Y'all got beautiful complexions. Black people come in all shades." And she pointed to DeMarco. She was like, "DeMarco, beautiful mahogany complexion." The girl started laughing. Was like, "Oh, that boy burnt. That boy burnt. He too burnt." And the crazy thing is too, like it went in reverse because in the 80s, a lot of the light skinned dudes was in, right? But then when the 90s came, then dark skinned dudes became in. So it goes by what people promoted. And then when things are promoted, people got this idea in their mind that they've always liked them. No, you like them now because they're promoted. And when you was coming up, that's what you saw as beautiful. But
Well,
I'm gonna just say this, and I'm gonna just say this real quick, and I want to be long-winded. I'm sorry, y'all. I just want to say this, but if you got women telling dudes like y'all ain't shit, y'all ain't doing this, y'all ain't doing that, y'all ain't nothing. I mean, if it's another woman of another group, that man's not going to turn that down. If he's
I
used to
know
having,
that's my only point. Like I didn't say anything was wrong with it. It makes sense. That's what makes sense to me. You know what I mean? Getting positive affirmations, being appreciated in a different way. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be
both,
attractive
yeah.
to anybody. But I hope that, like I said, it's more just kind of like analyze a little bit more instead of just saying it. You know, we were an experiment. You know what I'm saying? They mess with our heads. They mess with everything so much in terms of how they wanted us to believe or behave with each other, which is
I
not
think we've
easy.
analyzed it to the point where we can't analyze it no more because it's only so much that I can invest into you loving yourself. Like, so when it's a lot of people that we say,
Right.
look, we got this type of history. I want y'all to read this. Look at the we've had Jet magazine. We had Ebony magazine. We had different magazines where we put our women at the forefront. We've had all types of R&B music, all soul music where we put ourselves at the forefront. The thing is, I don't know where I'm just speaking from a man's perspective. I can't give you, we don't have that, the capital and the where we control the media industry where I could promote you the same way that white men promote white women. I don't have that. It's only certain things that I can do to show you that now if my love isn't enough, then I don't know what to tell you after that.
But I mean, we still had like maybe okay. So let's take in the let's think about the Source magazine. All right, Black owned, operated. In terms of imagery and stuff like that, it was just more about what was marketable. You know, it's like it seems like every time that we have a chance, and don't get me wrong, I love me some Ebony. I still love Essence, love Jet. You know what I mean? But these publications that get sold off for whatever reason, when that's like that was our way of reinforcing what our standard is for our children. You know what I'm saying? To see, because those magazines was always on the coffee table. Like, shoot, you wasn't gonna pass and get out the front door without seeing a Black couple, you know what I mean, that's looking amazing on the cover of something. You know, but we got to start hanging on and see the value in those things as well. You know,
I
like I
agree
said,
100%.
think about the Source magazine that slutted us back out again, you know, that thugged us back up again when we didn't need that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna put
we
that
have those
completely.
opportunities, we need to be responsible with them.
I'm not going to put that completely on the Source because it was all
I
types
just
of
use
hip
that
hop.
as an example because it was Black
a hip
owned.
hop. It was a hip hop magazine. We had other publications for us to look into where we saw different images of ourselves. But here's the thing, right? It just comes down to the point that if people need to put the effort into their children, into building up their children's self-esteem. Because like I don't know, man. It seems like we doing this whole ring around the rosy, and just the people that and it's only so much that you can teach for people to love themselves. You have so many Black people that don't even know anything about Black history. It's ridiculous.
And for me, the answer will always be the people who are in charge of their care. They should be teaching them something. I don't care if they want to hear that shit or not. You finna learn. We finna sit down and watch this. You know what I mean? Now, what they do with it, you're right. You cannot control that. You know, if there's still some type of but again, you kind of can, because as parents, you don't have to give permission for all the devices where they can just roam through social media and compare and look at people who are grown or probably not even real. Okay. And they're sitting there comparing themselves to that. But us as parents, we give them the devices. We give them, you know what I mean? Because sometimes a lot of us are too fucking lazy to actually be parents. But let me let Lord ADS up to the stage real quick, and we can continue on with the conversation. Welcome to the show. What's up, ADS?
Wazoo, wazoo. What's up, everybody?
What's going on?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Good on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. But nigga, it is too hot. I went outside for a couple hours to go swimming, boy. And let me tell you, they didn't bake this shit in. My tan is dark. Nigga, I look like damn near, you know what I'm saying? I can't describe this shit. But I mean, I got black out here in the sun, bro. I got black 2 days.
Here he go with his own colorism. I'm just joking. You've been listening to the show, Lord ADS?
A little bit off and on. I heard talk about some of the disparages between being dark skinned and being black, light skinned, stuff like that. But I don't think people understand that nobody else views us that way outside our group. You know what I'm saying? Nobody views us that way but us. If you black, you black. And they gonna treat you as such. I think that's what gets overlooked in these conversations, right?
Hmm. Yeah, I think it really only matters 100% within our own group. You know what I mean? Like when we grow up and we walk out the door and we start mixing and mingling with people, I don't think that we hang on to like the things that that we probably were called, or how we were compared or whatever. But I feel like once we get around our own, it can kind of come, like I said, it can come up as a joke. I know you probably heard, you've been on some light skin shit. You know what I mean? Like just little comments like that. Like you can still hear those amongst grown people today. So it's like it's still a part of people's psyche. I think it just really affects people a lot more than they would like to admit. You know what I'm saying? Um, some people say they enjoy being black. Some people, I don't think that they like being black, but it is what it is type of situation. But yeah, just talking about a little bit of like how we kind of just do this to ourselves, but also what it does to children. You know what I mean? Of course, you can't do anything about the past or whatever. When we look at history, they were closer to actually believing that bullshit about themselves. It probably took a lot of strong families and positive reinforcement, for black people to finally get some type of pride when the rest of the world, the law system, everything, was against them, or against us, should I say. But at the same time, it's like now, since we do have this, we have the opportunity, the know-how and all that stuff with the kids, I just like to point out what it actually does to people. Because one thing about our community, and this is just my opinion, we have a hazing type of community. Okay. We don't know just how to let each other fucking be and exist. You know what I'm saying? It's like if we went through something messed up, or we got roasted or whatever, then we finna do it to somebody else and expect them to be okay. But a part of, I think, actually being a unified group is just taking into consideration each other's, should I say, feelings. Seriously, I think it's that simple. But we don't do that. I hope that we started, because like I said, we think that just because we made it and we live, we're taking care of our bills, we have our lives somewhat under control, we think that we're good, right? But a lot of things that we went through in order to learn lessons, they didn't have to happen that way. They didn't have to happen that way. I think that way, like for an example, I don't spank my kids. I got spankings with a belt. The ones who came before me got switches and paddles. You feel me? So when I hear certain stories, I'm just like, damn, why they feel like you needed all of that to learn a fucking, you know what I'm saying, to learn a lesson, But I'm, at least in my family, that's kind of lessened a little bit. Like I said, the corporal punishment, because they saw that it wasn't beneficial. It was just what they knew to get the results as fast as they could. So I think that when it comes to how we regard ourselves, because we complain about black men and black women not respecting each other, not wanting to be together and all this stuff. I think this is something that needs to be looked at, because it's the basis of our value system towards each other. But even in other groups of people, Lord ADS, this happens, within, the Latin community and everything. Rush was telling us really, like, I guess how it is down in the Dominican, because of some type of, conflict or bad, I guess, history with Haiti. So even, I guess, like certain complexions are not even admitted into restaurants or certain establishments, which I'm just like, damn. Yes, it's 2026, but in different parts of the world, you can still see that.
I agree with that.
Have you ever heard anything negative about your complexion growing up? Or your features at all?
Oh yeah, that old high yellow ass nigga there, he think he had the barge. You know what I'm saying? Back in high school, I had this fro where I had I had at least 4 inches fro back in those days, right? The niggas used to call me Lion King, right? Because I had a big ass red fro, you know what I'm saying? Freckles and shit, right? So I've heard that kind of shit my whole life. It's nothing new to me, but I just always count it as jokes, right? Little funny things. Okay, it's funny. Sometimes I laugh along with because some of the stuff was funny, right? But ultimately though, it's just somebody trying to take a shot, try to bring your ego down someplace where they want to be, so they can manage your ego. You know, right? They want you to fall in line. And way to do that sometimes is by basically by subliminal suggestion, right? You know what I'm saying? If I tell you, you know what I'm saying, and everybody agree with it, that you a certain way, you tend to believe in a lot of cases that you a certain way, and you're really not. It's kind of a crowd mob mentality sometimes in the black community that I think we need to be more careful of. But I really don't think we need light skin against dark skin, man against woman, straight guys against all these verses in the black community, right? How we ever gonna get anything done?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, let me see here. It's just, I don't know. I hear it even like I said sometimes, like even on these panels, and I know how to recognize it and things like that, but it's still just like it blows my mind, that grown adults can, walk around in a certain skin, can't do nothing about it, and but yet their attitude towards it is just so negative. Like, to me, it just, I don't know, it blows my mind. But I know, like I said, sometimes that pain runs deep, and that's kind of what we're looking at, because everybody doesn't have. And I'm not sure, Lord ADS, when you used to hear that type of things from like your peers and stuff, what would happen when you came home? Like, how was that, all those comments kind of counteracted, so you didn't believe or lean into them? Did your family like reinforce you, or kind of like, or
Oh,
how did that happen?
no reinforcement needed. I got pretty sisters, I got pretty aunts and pretty cousins, and these same niggas talking this trash be over at your house. You know what I'm saying? Try to play with your Transformers, try to play with your Atari, try, you know what I'm saying? Basically, you know what I'm saying? They won't live with you, right? Because you got nice stuff. So ultimately, they'll always saw it as a bug, you know what I'm saying, with them. Maybe even a little jealousy, insecurity at times, right? Maybe I got a number of a girl that somebody else wanted to get. All of a sudden, saying this light skinned nigga, right? All types of little stuff, little snazzy comments.
Okay.
So I got, yeah, used to it, got over it. But I can see how it can scar somebody, especially if they're not strong enough to take that type of, don't have the right mentality to understand that, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's, I'm like, I understand that that's what people need to have. You know what I mean? They would need to, kind of like, ignore everything. But we all know it's not that easy for some people, man. And it just depends on, I think, the severity, how often it happens, and again, just the reinforcement, that comes from home and stuff like that. But give me 1 second. Let me bring somebody up to the stage. We got Simon in the back. All right. All right. Welcome to the show. What's up, Simon?
How you doing? I'm okay.
Say
You hear
something
me?
again. Okay,
Can
there
you
you
hear
go.
me? All right, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can.
Yeah, how you doing?
Okay,
You
cool.
doing okay? All right, cool.
Yeah, I'm good. How's your day
All right,
going?
yeah. Not brilliant, man. It's just hot over here, man. It's like hot.
There's me.
Terrible hot.
Like, it's hot around the world. ADS was saying the same thing. I know it's hot where I'm at. Like, shit.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, man. But Reese, I'm not sure, you've been quiet for a little while. You got anything on the topic? Or you just hanging out?
So let me step in for him until he get back.
Wow.
If you're okay with it, or not, I don't
Wait,
know.
Reese, you got it?
no, you can go.
Okay. Go ahead, Simon.
Okay, so black kids deserve better. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The fundamental thing about this is like, it's it's really sort of like about how women like were really trying to understand how to bring up black kids because they didn't really expect to be by themselves, you know. So what happened was these women invested in these men, and it didn't turn out how they wanted it to be. And they went out to work. He went out to work. She went out to work, and the kid was just like kind of lost in the wilderness. You know what I'm saying? It's like you all really think about this shit. You know, Is she going to nursery? What kind of school you putting her in? Like, you know, there's a
Intentional.
lot. There's a lot that comes with it. Like being a parent is hard as hell, and like most people just take that for granted. You know what I'm saying? But you can't take it for granted because it's gonna land it in your face. You know, it's like, and then the kid you grew up or tried to grow up is gonna be a product of society, which they be telling us about that from yonder, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that at all.
Hmm.
But yeah,
So what do you think? Okay, because you just said, because some people, I've heard different opinions. You just said being a parent is hard. I've heard the opposite. What do you think well, I've heard opposite as well, but of course, I know the real. What do you think, if you could like pinpoint it or give your opinion, what do you think the hardest part about being a parent is?
the hardest part for me is the free meals a day.
What?
It's the free meals a day. It's like breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, over and over again. That drives me fucking crazy. I'm just
Okay.
like, what? That drives
What
me
is it
nuts.
because is it because like do you skip meals sometimes? Like so you don't really need it,
No,
so you're just
I, yeah, I don't get hungry like that, but it's just like it's like statutory. It's like she want that like breakfast, lunch, dinner. Like you gotta think about that shit, and you can't even like just come up with something. It's like look, if you just put something in front of her face, yeah, nah, I ain't gonna eat it.
oh my god. You can Oh my god. I'm sorry. I just had this same conversation and I say this like I said like I actually
You know
parent.
what I'm talking about?
If they are
Like
hungry,
serious
no.
shit.
If
Like
they are hungry, they will eat. You don't give them empty.
nah,
You don't give them what
nah,
they
nah.
want. That's why they running you like this now.
Yeah, but babe, your babe, I spoil my lady. Like
See, that's
she's
why
my
you in
lady.
this situation.
Yeah, so like I'm like, what do you want to eat? That's what I'm like. You know what I'm saying? But it's just
Mhm.
like, yeah, I can't take that away from her because I've been doing that to her since birth. So it's like, yeah, I'm in that position. It's like, what do you want to eat? And like, if I put something in front of her, and she ain't gonna eat it, it's like, I can't put you to bed with an empty stomach. What?
Right.
Hmm.
Okay, so again, that just kind of just means like, okay, I get it. You probably, you've already set the tone, you've done the damage, but you can turn it around. You don't have to continue to,
I don't
I
know.
guess,
I think she need. I
encourage
think she
her.
needed. I think she needed a lady in her life. I can't do it like I'm a man. I can't. Like, you know, I
Mm,
struggle with that shit.
No, little girls love their dads. They listen to them sometimes more than their moms. You didn't know that?
Yeah, yeah. Just on what you just said, it's like you know more than I do.
I just know how it was when I was growing up. You know what I mean? Like I'm a girl, so it's like it's similar like to my brother and my dad, like he knows the different types of things that like my brother will try or what he needs in terms of like, discipline development or whatever because he's been there before. He don't know what it's like to be a girl, you know what I'm saying? So he's softer
Exactly.
with his daughters, and my mom is softer with her sons. Like that's just it's always kind of I've always kind of seen that dynamic.
Yeah, you're right.
Mhm. But I just definitely wanted to get back to this video real quick because we got this video that is that we gonna review and that's the one that's entitled as Black Kids Deserve Better. So let's listen to what some of these people in hip hop had to say or how they exhibit because even like I said these grown ass people they perpetuate and they keep this stuff going up too. So let's just pull this video back up and hear where they're going with this, and if anybody needs me to pause just let me know and I'll pause the video. All right.
Darker skin tones. And then Featurism is biased of features considering closer to European beauty standards such as looser curl, hair curls, narrow noses, lighter eyes, thinner lips, so on and so forth. When these biases influence decisions about having children, the impact can be emotional, it can be relational, and even intergenerational, right? First, let's talk about the fear about what a child will look like. Common negative impact. Some people will become anxious about whether their child will have darker skin, tight coiled hair, broader facial features. That can create a guilt or shame around natural genetic variations instead of imaging a child as a whole person with their own dynamic and unique features. The focus shifts towards whether they will be looked at in your eyes as acceptable. For example, one, Mike Epps. Mike Epps faced criticism and sparked discussions regarding his comments on skin tone colorism in his own children, particularly regarding to the complexion of his kids and wife.
Still standing to it. Man, Mike Epps is a fool, dog.
Boy, God is so good. He been keeping me on the road. I've been trying to keep my kids is turning into Bobby Christina on me. No,
yeah, what happened, man? Is everything okay now?
No, you know my daughter went off on me.
Yeah, what happened?
You know how it go, man. It's hard raising teenagers, man. Soon as they get a certain age, they want to start challenging. You have to remind them that that's my scrotum talking to me. That's what you tell your kids next time, fellas. When they talking crazy, say, "Man, my balls are talking crazy." They talking crazy. My scrotum's talking crazy.
Then you start throwing the movie credits at her. Hangover, Friday. Right. I don't know if you remember. Okay.
No, I tell you who it was. It was her. It was the James Brown looking baby mama that did it.
You know what?
Yeah, and I keep telling everybody, it's like, woo, she was ugly. I said, I didn't know I was gonna make it. I was dating girls that looked like James Brown before I got in show business.
But she was probably holding you down.
You know, Kenya got to bring it.
Kenya always comes with that. Women's live.
Don't defend James Brown.
Tell us I'm about ready to get up and do my thing.
Yeah.
He also was previously criticized for using a filter editing photos of.
Damn, wait a minute. Why would he do that?
Why are you playing Mike? Why are you playing Mike like that? Seriously.
Huh?
Why are you playing Mike like that?
Shoot, they playing
Why are you
Mike.
playing Mike like that?
They playing Mike. I didn't
Come
put this
on,
video together. No, but okay, so you gonna be mad at the fact that he's being put on blast, or you gonna be mad that he put a filter on his child to make the child look white?
Mike's the original. He's the original from South. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
That
You
nigga
mean
came out
that's
on
AI?
Friday. He ain't no original nothing. What are you talking about?
Hey, that picture on the right hand side. That's AI.
He said it's some type of filter. I'm not sure what type of filter he used on the child, but you see the original one to the left and how he made her look on the right.
Yo,
like, why would he do that? Like, she's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with her on the left hand side as it is.
That's why he did it, man. Self-hate, man. He feels like the child looks better.
Bro, wait, bro. Like, you don't know him.
He called his baby mama James Brown.
You don't know him. What are you talking about, bro?
You don't either.
Serious. No, I do. I know Mike. Like, man, you can't be talking about.
Okay,
him
so
like that.
since
That's
this is
crazy.
personal for you, maybe you should sit this one out, Simon, because this is what we're reviewing today. And I didn't know about your affinity to Mike Epps. It is what it is, though. He's a public figure.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm just saying, like, wow. Sorry.
Well, you should tap him and be like, "Hey, bro, like, you didn't mean that on no self-hate shit, right?"
No, I'll talk to him about it. I'll talk to him about it. Don't worry about it. LA, don't worry. I'll talk to him about it.
I'm just saying. Ask him, especially since you can.
No, I will. Like, yeah, I'm listening to you, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I don't know. Like I said, it wouldn't matter to me about nothing. Like, this is my child. I'm not finna fix her up as a toddler. Like, I don't know. Hollywood kids, they already got to be careful with them because they grow up super fast and they're exposed to a whole bunch of superficial stuff. You know what I mean? Look at Kanye
right
and Kim
that.
and Kim Kardashian's daughter, Northwest. She looks like, she's styled like a teenager, like a young woman, you know, but that's what her parents provide for her. And they live in a life of fashion and constantly on TV. So it's just, I don't know, it's a little irresponsible to be doing, like, for anybody, I don't think, to be doing
I
this.
wouldn't say
I'm
it's
not attacking Mike.
irresponsible. Like it's just a lifestyle you live. Like you can't like predetermine what kind of lifestyle you're gonna live. Like, come on. Like I live the type of lifestyle I live. Like I ain't trying to bring someone into it. It's just like it's what it is. You know, it's just like I ain't choose to be in my position. Like, you know,
What? Okay, so we talking about colorism. What does that have to do with you know what I'm saying? Like, just kind of not really appreciating or celebrating especially your offspring for how you made them or how they came out. Like, you don't think that affects people in the long run?
come on, baby. You got children. Like they are you.
Don't call me that. Oh my goodness.
I know. All right, I
Dap
won't.
you up.
Okay.
Fist bump.
Yeah, I won't. Look, your baby is you. You know what I'm saying? My baby is me. Like she is me. Like she's a female version. Like
right, and you're gonna let her know that she's perfectly fine, right? Just the way that she is, and she is beautiful, and she doesn't need a filter in order to be presented to the world.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going because they got some other examples in here. But like I always said, like I said, even when people say it in a joke, like there's always some truth in a joke.
I think that's kind of fucked up. You bringing up Mike Epps though, man. Like, yo, he's one of the realists.
Again, this is a compilation that was put out by somebody else.
What he got on the side picture right there on the right hand side, it's clearly that he worships the white man here. You know what I mean? That's why I spoke
He
on
talking
it.
about he worships the white man. What do you know about Mike Epps, bro?
Based on his actions,
he
prefers
that picture.
to look more European.
No, not at all. Mike Epps is
friends over there on your side of town, man.
What do you know about shit, nigga? Like, goddamn. You see these motherfuckers want to come up and talk some bullshit. You don't know Mike Epps.
Oh, so Simon, to be completely honest, you trying to change the whole like jam of everything.
Nah,
This is
I ain't trying to change.
Yes, you are. You can get mad at the person who made this video. Okay, I ain't doing nothing to you. I'm playing this video and I'm trying to review it because it's giving real life examples of colorism and featurism.
No. Okay, I get you, LA. I ain't doing that. I just don't understand when men wanna, like men, we're talking about men, like want to turn around and act like they know what they're talking about. Like, just be honest. Like you're just having some sort of perspective.
Honestly, he had a problem with how his child looked, or he wouldn't have did that. Like I said, we can be up in our biases because y'all are friends and stuff, but like, so if he killed somebody, you'll be like, oh, don't talk about Mike like that. Like, I mean, when are you gonna be honest? You gonna be honest with him and tell him, damn, bro, that was fucked up. Your child is beautiful. You should have left her alone. You gonna tell him the truth?
You're right.
Okay, we're gonna keep going.
His children. And then just in context, he has 7 children in total. And he often posts his younger children with his current wife. Online, people have noticed his bad jokes and his remarks were very colorist in how he edited in the child's features, show
that is interesting.
Biases that he had.
That is very interesting. Do you have a picture, or should we even go into this, right, of what the rest of Mike Epps' kids look like in comparison to her?
Well, I mean, they probably will all have, probably have a couple at least different mothers, but I could try.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking that he usually don't mess with black women like that, right? Like on the serious stuff.
Wait a minute, bro.
Yeah.
He
So
said
that's
he dated all the women he dated looked like James Brown before he got into the industry. So maybe
facts.
I don't know why these dudes want to come up here and talk.
Yeah, this is a touchy subject for Simon. So I'm gonna go ahead and and bring you back on a different day, okay? Because I spend my time. I could be eating dinner with my family right now, but I'm
I
with
know
y'all,
Mike X, bro.
and I'm
What?
not really okay. Well, like I said, you can ask him a question because if this is bothering you, then
I
you
know, I
shouldn't
know,
sit
I
back
know.
listening
I
to
don't be cool. I'm just saying that I don't understand. That's all.
it. Yeah, you ain't got to. You ain't got to. Shouts out to the History HQ. People forget the most unifying thing about all of us. We're all human. Colorism was a tool of colonization and still perpetuates to us today. And I'm Dominican. It's a huge problem there. Appreciate you. Shouts out to the DR. Okay, well, I have pictures. I don't know. Like I said, he's getting triggered. It doesn't look like he has that many
I
like
just know,
black
dude.
children.
Like I know, dude. So you gotta understand, like that's your girlfriend, right? You gotta understand that, right? You know that person, like he's. Anyway,
He's got a type, that's for sure. Okay. But yeah, Lord ADS, you can definitely find those pictures and you can take a look yourself. Let's keep going.
As a person. I know there's this saying of how these black men, they say black dark skinned men, are always talking about light skinned men. And Mike X is not dark skinned, but they always want to create a light skinned person, meaning that they always want to date someone who is non black or light skinned. Then you have choosing your
Oh, there
partner
you go,
based on
Lord
appearance.
ADS.
Colorism and futurism can
Yeah,
affect
that's what I was
dating and family
thinking.
planning
That's
decisions,
what I was
right?
thinking,
So
LA.
basically,
Mm-hmm.
seeking a lighter
Now
skin partner
it
to
makes sense.
improve
It
your
makes sense.
children.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. Yeah, before the money, his options were limited, so he chose a limited
what?
option,
What?
right?
Wait, bro. Seriously,
Then after he made the money, now he can get a hold of exotic women, all types of other
you
type of
think
women that
so?
he's really
You
interested
think
in. So
so?
He said
yeah,
it. You
yeah.
didn't hear him in his
No,
jokes.
no, I'm listening. Like you don't know this dude, bro.
We're just listening to what he's saying. He said that when
Uh,
he said yes, his baby mama looked like James Brown
I gotta
because
take
that's
a phone call, bro. I'll be back.
all
Don't worry
right.
about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he said it himself, he compared his baby mama to James Brown. And he said that basically that's all he date. All the chicks looked like James Brown before he got into the industry. I see what you're saying, Lord ADS. It opened up his options and things like that. I don't know. It makes me wonder if this is like what he wanted to do the whole time, because that there's also that time period and them people who had they would partner up with certain people just in hopes that their children would get certain features. I want my baby to have some good hair. I want them to look like this, that, and the third. And usually that's the reason why they pick their partners. You know what I mean? Especially back in the day. But it's just like, that's what I was saying in the beginning. Like, if you say that you want to have kids, like, it shouldn't matter how they come out. You know what I mean? You can't, unless you want to pay the money for a designer baby, like it's your genetics with hers. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's going to happen the way that it's going to happen. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know. If he's still not satisfied, then again, he better get happy with himself or something, because again, when we think about the children, and it doesn't have to be necessarily said to them explicitly, but if she finds this picture when she's older and to be like, damn, like, why you change? You know what I'm saying? Like, why'd you change me up? Like, I can't stand when like people put perms on toddlers just to make their hair more manageable or straighter or look a certain way or whatever. It's like, that shit is poison. You know what I mean? And it messes with their, it gives them the impression that they are not good enough by themselves. And therefore they need all this extra stuff in order to be valuable or be seen by somebody.
Well, LA, there is a legitimate argument for status, right, in society. I live in Atlanta, so here in Atlanta, status is just like gold here. It's like liquid gold. You know what I'm saying? Clout, that good stuff is like liquid gold in Atlanta. So if you got some type of status in Atlanta, you tend to get better options than dudes who don't have clout or status, right? That's just some of the things that sort of happens just throughout society in general. But you can see it kind of magnified here, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People say it's the money. No, 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 no. It's the status. It's the clout. You know what I'm saying? It's. Are you a successful content creator? Where a successful content creator has crazy options when it comes to women in general. A male has insane options when it comes to women to some degree, right? And even though he knows he can't choose them all, he knows those options are out there. Now imagine a guy who's a movie star, who's walking up to him and just saying hi, trying to talk to him back and forth, who buys him drink, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, right? He probably gets those types of options all the time where he says, okay, I can leave alone the starter baby mama, right? Because that's what that normally is when you have them early, starter baby mama, you know what I'm saying? And move along and
starter. Uh-huh.
And those and start to, you know what I'm saying, talk to these more elegant, you know, more attractive women. So, you know, kudos to Mike, you know what I'm saying? That comes with a lot, you know, to Victor goes to spoils, but he shouldn't put that on his younger daughter either. He shouldn't put that off on her. The way she was born is the way, you know what I'm saying, she looks the way she looks, right? Cherish your children, you know what I'm saying? Stop trying to, you know, find their flaws, especially too early in life.
Yeah, I agree. And sorry about that, Rush. You whenever you got something to say, you can come off mute.
Oh. Yeah, I just want to say this. Like, I don't understand why you know, most melanated men prefer to date outside their race and, you know, procreate with these different genre of females. Ooh. You know, a lot of times those kids, they come out not looking like them. Like, I mean, like, I mean, my personal opinion, like, I would rather my seed to look more like me than my oppressor. You know what I mean? That's just my personal opinion.
Damn. But wait a minute, because I heard that, like, you know, especially from like a male's perspective, you know, having that type of mixed relationship that flips the whole power dynamic, where instead of, you know what I mean, you being subjugated to them, like, you have more of the control.
Nah, that's not my personal opinion. A dude that date outside of his race, like he somewhat is a sellout, to be real with you. Like, he's gonna deny his own culture and he's gonna submerge his self into his girlfriend's culture. So really, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just my personal opinion. Like, I know a lot of people are gonna give me a pushback on that, but yo, I mean, it is what it is, man. To me, man, if I'm going to procreate, I would want my seed to look like me, not my oppressor. That's just my personal opinion.
Yo, you can hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, mankind, right, is doomed until this entire planet is all mixed up. As long as there's black here and white here, there's gonna be bullshit. The mixed breed is the physical receipt that is God's final exam. He's done after that because nothing comes after that. All right, you got to mix all that other shit to get to the final. And you know how everybody says everything started black?
That's what they say.
Well, it's not going back to that. There's no scientific way that can happen. If everybody mixes up, that will be the end, the final. There will be nothing left for God to do after that because he gave all of this to us. And so the mixed breed is literally the final exam and will be closer to God than anyone ever. And the receipt is this: the racism and dumb shit that's global, it won't go away till all of those people are gone. There's no other way to get rid of it. Period.
I mean, I feel what you're saying, because it's like that just seems to be where it's headed, right?
I think it's inevitable in like 1,000 years or so, unless they flip this shit again.
Yeah, I think it was crazy. I can't remember if it was a National Geographic or something like that, but they used AI before they let us all have access to it or whatever to tell us what the average human being was going to end up looking like. Yeah, and it just looked like a biracial person. Like, that's pretty much what it looked like. But Rush, to your point, what you were saying, that's what I was trying to get out with 18th letter before he dropped. You know, like I said, we can think that it's genuine interest and all this other stuff, but I mean, a lot of people can find, and similar to us, we're not the only ones who can find beauty in things that are different, right? So a different race of person might look at a certain black person and be like, yeah, that's different. Like, I like, basically like it looks good to me in a different type of way, right? But the trends that I see though is, the complaining still, persists about black women, which fine, to each their own. I understand people got bad experiences, that's at the third. But then to go and learn about somebody else's culture, possibly learn the language, and I mean, it's just a whole lot of effort in order to, feel a certain type of way. And then what's going to happen to your lineage? What's going to happen to your history? Like, that doesn't prove that the woman is appreciating you as a black man, but go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest with you, LA man. A lot of these dudes, they are sellouts, man. Like, and I'm just gonna use this example. Like, for example, right? If a black man links up with a high yellow Dominican chick, he somewhat is denying his own race, because you can't tell me. And I've dated many Dominican chicks. Like, a lot of them are very colorist. You know what I mean? They're very racist towards dark-skinned people. And you as a man that link up with, a high yellow Dominican chick, like, yo, you're a sellout, because there's a lot of racism that goes on with that side of the family. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you have to deny yourself in order to marry or procreate with a white looking Dominican chick. And that's just my personal opinion. I'm very cultured, you know what I mean? Like, I've been around, I lived in many different countries, man, and it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? That's just my personal opinion.
Okay. No, I mean, I totally understand. I thought I was being too harsh, and my whole life I've just, this is another part of the featureism and colorism is, they want to tell me where I am in the hierarchy of black. You know what I mean? When that's all I know. That's all I've been surrounded by. If I have one great great grandparent because of the huh? What'd you say?
Are you a sellout because you got mixed kids?
In my opinion, no. But to other people, it might be. But I mean, that's because they're not paying attention to how I got there. But
LA, I'll take it from here. It doesn't make you a sellout because you have or you date outside your culture or your race, right? We call it race, but it's really culture. In reality, I mean, think about it, right? What are your biggest synonyms when it comes to dating? Your nationality, where you come from. Secondly, your ethnicity, what you have in common with that person, right? Race is somewhere way down the list for that type of stuff. If I told you my son was half white and I was, large part white, right? 43% white. Does that make my parents a sellout for giving me birth for life into this earth? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I'm grateful to be here. So I mean, this measurement of blackness is kind of a silly thing because at the end of the day, we don't. Right? No. This measurement of blackness doesn't make sense because you don't have the numbers. You don't have much to offer. So in identity,
I've been around.
So when it comes to identity, you proud that anyone accepts the label or that comes with being black, because that is not that's not a label of privilege. It's more of a label of okay, so everybody else is a sellout rush with you, right?
Keep blowing
who the real sellout is? You know who's really doing damage? You know who's really doing damage to the black race? The person screaming that you're a sellout. That why you're doing more damage? Because you're down in me in order to feel like your position is valid. And in reality, that's not fair. That's not fair, Rush. That's a dirty game. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, brother. And you allow your perspective, and I respect that. Because
anything you saying is not even valid,
bro. We're both black men at our core. We both have the same sort of intertwined journey. So
how is it that niggas tell you what the fuck you are, yo? What is that shit?
Culturally, you ain't black. But yeah,
how can another motherfucker tell you what the fuck you are, man?
There you go.
So okay, so just so I can be clear.
No, he ain't cultured, man. I don't like you, man. These people hate your ass, man. You know what I'm saying? And you said you want to procreate with these people, man. They don't like you, bro.
All of them hate us?
Wait.
Yeah.
Each and every one. Wow.
We wouldn't be mixing the races for thousands of years if everybody hated each other.
Well, no. What he's saying is at the essence. Okay, think about it like this, right? And that's why, when they talk about biracial, meaning black and white, right? A lot of these kids, they want to more hang or gravitate towards the black side because they know their white side might not accept them or probably ain't going to accept them. You know what I'm saying? Or it's going to be little shit that's being said or whatever. I know what he's talking about. So for the most part, like, the black people, we always like kind of get not stuck with, but we're open, and we will help develop biracial children versus white people who will just deal with you, and they will make it known that, hey, like, don't get too comfortable because you ain't me.
Yo,
I've
you
seen that.
what makes you a wizard is when other people prove your point every single time. That's the whole reason why the races have to mix. Because what you said is true. Crackers are stupid too. Dumb as a motherfucker.
As hell.
They all gotta go, yo. Black and white gotta go from this world. Period. I ain't gonna live to see it.
Well, like I said, I mean, even from, me just existing, me being a little bit more inclined when it comes to reading and spelling, me being quiet and shy, you know what I'm saying? They already made me less black. Then I got older and they was like, wait a minute, your nose too straight. But
Think about how silly that is, though.
I know. So I don't care about, if people think I'm a sellout with my kids. That was the only interracial relationship I ever had in my life. And that was after building up three black men, to the point where they're famous. They got their own businesses and everything. And now they want to trade me in for something a little bit more exotic. So I widened my options, and I'm fine with being called or considered a sellout because ever since I've been younger, I was an Oreo, I was a this, I was a that. I wasn't accepted anyway. So it's cool. I'm not worried about it, but I know my history. I know where I come from. I know when people see me out in the world, I'm black. I'm not mixed.
You ain't really got too many problems though, because being cute is kind of easy. My daughters are cute, so I know how to go.
No, I mean, I think it's all the same. I mean,
y'all got a different set of problems with, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You can go ahead. I'm sorry.
Y'all got a different set of problems than the chicks that's quote unquote don't fit the beauty standards, but you don't have the hell that they have. You've never experienced it.
You're absolutely right. But that's why I keep a lot of other people's experiences in mind. You know what I'm saying? And I listen. My mom is a beautiful brown skin. She always thought that she was dark skin. You know what I'm saying? Because she was teased about it, and even sometimes from her own siblings or whatever. But then she meets my dad. He's probably around your complexion, Reese, and he's living in DC around West Indians, Haitians, Jamaicans. And he was just like, you're really not that dark. You know that, right? Like, it's not as bad as what you think it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you're beautiful. So, yeah, that's what kind of like helped started changing her around in terms of how she felt about herself. And ever since then, like, shoot, yeah, you don't ever let somebody treat you like, like you less than or anything like that. And I was always, taught different parts of our history, whether it be American, Black American history or whatever. Like my mom, every year at like Black History Month, I learned about the Buffalo Soldiers, and because she loves cowboys and shit, you know what I mean, Tuskegee Airmen, like all kinds of stuff. My grandfather used to play for the Negro Leagues. Like I know about Black history, but I've never really been 100% accepted, and that's fine though. It's not like it was well, no, let me take that back. They ain't want to hang with me. They ain't want to fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even want to play with me for a while until it was just like, okay, we've seen her at school for the past 3-4 years. She's actually funny. She's actually kind of cool. And they got tired of hating. You know what I'm saying? So then we became friends. And that's really how it happened. So, I'm not sure. See, Lord ADS, you were kind of see, and that's why sometimes I don't, and I appreciate you, but I don't like people to speak on my behalf. You know what I'm saying? Because then shit
Fair
like
enough.
that.
Yeah, it
Were
goes
you speaking
sideways.
hypothetically, or were you being for real?
For real. And you know the funny thing about it is my mom is chocolate too, right? And what we found out through ancestry DNA that she's just as mixed up as my daddy is. My dad is like damn near half white, but she's almost like a third white her damn self. She got Jewish, Asian in her blood, all types of stuff, Irish in her blood. So it's like, where did this whole black conversation even come from like this? Because we also mixed up that it's so hard to determine just by skin tone alone who's black and who's not. I mean,
I
even
got
if you
bad
go to other
news for
countries.
you, ADS.
What's up?
You ain't black.
I'm probably not black enough for your taste, yeah. So
You not black, dog.
oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't join y'all club.
That
Can y'all
shit,
take
first
away?
of all, that shit don't mean, that word don't mean shit when it comes to human beings. I don't
I
know
mean,
how.
yeah. I mean, honestly, it don't. Yeah.
But the way we use it today, you're not that, dog. You gotta have 4 black grandparents, bro.
I don't have that. I literally have white folks all through my granddaddy. Put it this way, my grandparents were mixed people. Before then, my great grandmama, she was a white woman, a whole white woman.
I got a great grandfather that looked just like Archie Bunker, yo. It's the funniest thing in the world. That's the most racist man ever been on television.
Archie Bunker is racist as shit, but
you know what's wild about that, bro?
What's wild?
When that show came out, when it was running with the black shows, there weren't any woke niggas anywhere complaining about the racial bullshit that was happening on those shows. We all laughed at it and we all loved it. We understood hardcore comedy and we weren't soft and, emotional and shit. We understood that it was jokes.
Wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. There was jokes and what?
We understood that there was jokes and some of the shit was real. So we could laugh at it. Especially Sanford and Son and All in the Family. Especially those 2 shows. Everything was always about race.
I couldn't stomach All in the Family.
Woo, that show was hilarious.
But see, that goes back to, like I said, this whole, like I said, hazing mentality that it seems like black people have. Like, why we gotta be tough and this, that, and like me personally, I get tired of the strong black woman trope. Like, shoot, I'm tired, boss. Like, shit, I'm tired of being strong. Like, this shit is exhausting. Why is that? Why are certain stereotypes being put on us? Or we're just, I know we had to be at one point in time, but I don't know. It's like when you say certain things like that, it's almost like we shouldn't even be having this conversation then. So everybody should just get ranked about how they look because, we need to be tough. Is that what you're saying?
No, when I was talking about, like, today people are very sensitive to every little thing.
87.
Channels are getting canceled and all this type of stuff over things that back in the day we wouldn't even have cared about. We wouldn't have talked about it. As soon as the show went off, we went back to our lives. You know what I'm saying?
What's up, Witch Doctor? Shouts out to you.
It's not necessarily that we were tough. It's just this new generation is so soft and emotional and tingly inside. It's ridiculous.
Soft or considerate? Because again, like,
no, it's like, damn, I forgot you're young. Shit.
Huh?
Never mind.
I'm less than 10. I'm not even 10 years younger than you, so I need you to stop.
You ain't that old. Get out of here.
No, wait. You said you're 55? Okay, never mind. I'm a little bit more than 10 years.
Yeah, be quiet or marry me.
Just a little bit. Damn. No, but what I'm saying is, like, I don't know. See, I think that's like what the difference was. When people, back in the day, I told you to get your nappy headed motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it caused it didn't make everybody strong. We can't just assume that just because we put each other through the ringer that we gonna come out clean on the other side or be fortified. Like, that's not always how it works. Give me 1 second. Let's let MJ Mahogany Roots up to the stage. Let's go, baby. Hey,
me and you we're talking about 2 different generations because actually when I was a youngin', there weren't a whole lot of black people cussing at all. You had your you knew who the cussers were, right? They were rare and in between, far in between. Everybody was pretty mellow, man. I promise you this. There wasn't no 100 murders in no city, and seeing 2 black women fight was like damn near I don't think I ever seen that as a child. I'm not even kidding.
Black women fight.
I'm telling you, the 70s was a different earth
Mm.
for black people. Night and day, man. Night and day. We still had our bullshit. Like there was some heroin in New York and a few places, and
Yeah, that shit was all through up in the East Coast.
but the way things were structured, all of the bullshit was hidden from the children. To this day, I'm almost 60, and I don't know why my parents broke up. I don't have the full story. You know what I mean? They didn't give their bullshit and pass it down to us.
Damn.
I remember the day I caught my grandmother smoking. When I found out she smoked, that shit, my grandmother was hiding it from us for years.
Yeah, I can relate to you on that one. Let me get Mahogany in here really quick since she joined the panel. Not sure how much time she got. You got something that you want to put on the topic, Mahogany, or are you just kind of catching up?
Well, I'll make time for you, honey. I'm doing my rounds, and I saw that you were live. Yes. And I'm gonna make sure because I think I try to share everybody. I try to just at least, I try to. So I'm gonna share this video too when I hop down. It seems like a great topic, of course. What was I
trying to keep it on track? But yes, it's a good conversation.
I wanted to talk about what you said a few moments ago because I haven't been here that long, but I heard that part and I agree. I understand the whole strong black woman, but it would be nice to be complimented on something else besides strength. Other women get complimented on so many other things. Beauty and grace and all these things, and we want the same thing as women. We want the same type of treatment. We want the same thing. Right. So I do understand that. But what exactly? I see the title, but was there anything specifically you wanted to talk about?
We were just like there was just a video that kind of was breaking down in terms of like how celebrities have, voiced certain opinions or they live their life a certain way. We always hear about the upgrade when it comes to the woman. You know what I mean? We can even look at Kevin Hart with his original wife, mother of his children. And according to her, how he even got into comedy in the first place. Like she was supposedly the funny one. You understand me? Not him. And then, he makes it big, starts getting those really big movie roles and he switches her out for the exoticals. You know what I mean? And she still tan, you know what I'm saying? Look like she part sister up in there, but still like, just kind of just looking at what that type of environment and what those types of comments do to us as people, you know what I mean, in terms of affecting our self-esteem, encouraging the internal racism and self-hate, and even wanting us to even have the audacity to believe that we can design our own baby. You know what I mean? Like, shoot, I want a baby with some pretty hair. I want a baby with some light eyes, so I'm gonna get with a dude. Just assuming that your baby is going to get all those features when that's not how it works. You know what I mean? So just kind of just talking about it overall, just wherever you want to get in is perfectly fine.
I'm going to add, and now that I think about it, because I've been back and forth, I've got several of y'all up. Yes. So a good example, one of the most famous families in the world is the Jackson family. I love the Jacksons, love Michael Jackson. But if you look at them throughout the years, they went from this very beautiful brown-skinned African-American family, and gradually everybody started to get lighter. Everybody started to have surgeries on their nose and their facial features. And so basically, I'll wrap it up very quickly. What you see in Hollywood with a lot of actors and actresses, African Americans, we tend to do what we feel we need to do to fit in, or maybe somebody's in our ear. Hollywood is very, very I'm not going to get into a whole trance about it because I talk about this a lot on my channel, but it's a very evil place. I believe a lot of celebrities sell their souls, the whole nine, for that fame. But anyway, it's I feel like it's several things. It's being surrounded by the wrong people, being told that this is what you need to look like in order to be accepted. This is what you need to look like to be at the top of your game. You need to have this BBL, you need to have this shape, this face. And if you're not grounded I think the people who stay grounded, people like Denzel Washington and his wives,
Mm.
though
Mhm.
people might not like the Obamas, but I love the Obamas, and I love the Obamas because I feel like they're a great example of just a loving, from the outside looking in, that's what they look like to me, a loving Black family, something that's familiar to me. But
Okay.
people who are in Hollywood who are not grounded, yeah, they get swept up in that foolishness. It's absolute foolishness because we all know, as mothers who give birth to light skin, dark skin, we give birth to every rainbow. It does not. My cousin has literally, she has one light skinned child and one dark skinned child, same dad, same parents, but one just turned out super light skin, lighter than
Mhm.
you, LA, and the other one is brown skin like me. But guess what? She loved them the same because she knew that they're the same.
Right.
So it's ignorance too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I mean I have my children are biracial.
Mhm.
I tell them to say that. You know what I mean? Because we had to have that, we had to have that conversation because like all their friends or the majority of their friends are brown skinned little girls and boys with braids and dreads, right? And the way that they are seen, just from because we know how the world is. The world is full of assholes, with all these preconceived biases and notions and whatever. They want to call them preferences, but they're prejudices, okay? And so I know that the way that their friends might be looked at or the type of experience that they might have is going to be different than their silky haired, Blasian looking selves. It's gonna be different. Just tell them that you're mixed. You know what I'm saying? Your mom is Black and your dad's from the Philippines. Like that's it. Don't say that you're Black because it's like it's not the same experience. And I'm glad that like I don't know. I feel like we had the conversation early enough in their life where they get it and they don't feel like damn, like I can't be included with you. Yes, of course you came from me. You grew in me. You know what I'm saying? Like you got immunity from certain things from me. Of course, I'm saying you come from me, but you are biracial and that's just what it is, you know? Um, but it wasn't a situation where I wanted kids, with a certain type of hair or whatever. Like I actually, it's so funny because my oldest one, she's my complexion. And then my youngest one, she's lighter. But when I talk to them separately, like especially with my oldest one, I just be like my little brown baby because she brown, you know what I'm saying? Like she's
Mhm.
mine. So that's like my way of kind of like giving them you know, the equal type of like footing or whatever, because even when when they go out into the world as sisters, you know what I mean? Who knows who will get treated whatever way. But I'm letting you know you're perfectly fine, you're beautiful, and you come from your parents.
Mhm. That's
So,
good. You're doing a good job. You'd be surprised, and I'm not going to take over, but you'd be surprised,
no, you're
Ellie, how
fine.
many parents don't do that, and the children grow up with horrible self-esteem.
Yes.
It sounds like you are a lot like my mom. My father is dark skinned. I take after my father. I'm the
Mhm.
darkest female in my family. Everybody else is on the lighter side. My mom is light skinned. But my mom always made a point to make me feel just drop dead gorgeous, just to make me feel very beautiful.
Mm.
And that's important. That's important for a child to have that, whether she's light skin or dark skin or brown skin or red. It's just important to build your children's self-esteem, particularly well, both boys and girls. But it's for young girls, it's good, I think, for a mother to do that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's funny because I had some questions, and sometimes you just never know where these conversations are going to go. But I think that just answered one of these questions perfectly. One of the questions that I was going to ask was, how can parents intentionally build confidence in children with darker skin or more traditionally African features? But
Hmm.
like you said, your mom like kind of not going out of her way, but just acknowledging your presence. You know what I'm saying? When you walk into the room, like I think that's a good way, for as in terms of intentional.
Hmm.
Um,
And one other thing, she never, I'm gonna be honest, my mom never, I didn't get it at that point, but now I understand it now. My mom refused to buy me a white doll baby. She
there
refused.
we
My
go.
cousins and stuff, they had the little white dolls, little white. My mom refused. She said no, that she refused to. And she would get me a doll, but it had to be a black doll baby.
Absolutely. It didn't matter if it. You remember Cabbage Patch? Wow. We had the cloth chocolate ones. You understand me? Like the first one is possibly that we can find. Like I totally understand where you coming from because that's exactly like how my mom did us, and even still the American Girl dolls. Have you heard of those?
Yes, Ellie, I'm
Yeah.
here.
Okay, well, my mom actually found, because they're a little bit more international, they're from different countries and stuff like that. All the different dolls are actually from different countries. So they're not just white ones or whatever. There's Latin ones and Native American ones and ones from Sweden and all kinds of stuff. My mom actually found dolls for each of my kids that resembled them so much. You know what I mean? Because she's just like, you need to be represented. Yes. Oh my gosh, you really do have the original. Yes, I can.
I'm trying to find the spot.
The dog got blue eyes. What the hell is going on?
Hold on, my bad.
No,
I put
the
it
dog
wrong.
got blue eyes, man.
She's still chocolate. Listen.
That's a mixed doll.
Okay.
That's a mixed doll. Mixed doll is mixed
It is
with
not
German.
a mixed doll. Okay, she's from
blue eyes. There's a nigga on earth with blue
She
eyes.
is from the African tribe that has blue eyes. Okay.
You want to know something interesting, Reese? I actually did home care for a lady who had Alzheimer's, and she was browner than me and had ice blue eyes. She said
I've
she was
seen
the
it.
only one in her family who had those. I was
Yo,
like,
let me see
damn.
that. Let me say something to you. Yo. I
Look
seen
it up,
that too.
Reese.
It's
Look
amazing.
it up. Seriously, I'm gonna be quiet, but Reese, look it up. There's a
No, I was just wilding when I said that. Listen,
Okay.
I've been all over the world, and I promise you, I've only seen about 5 people with blue eyes. This shit that we run around calling blue eyes is not blue eyes. When you see blue eyes, you know it. You're gonna know it because it's gonna be something you probably never seen before. I saw it twice in Australia and once when I was in Germany. Everywhere else, I'm talking about when you look at a color spectrum, blue.
Yeah. Yep.
Blue, like that outlining you're in the show right here on that blue.
Gotcha.
I've only seen that like 5 times. That when you see that shit, you can't not look at the person. And the person with them, they understand kind of that everywhere they go, every human being there is just gonna be staring at them.
Yeah,
like
they
that real
definitely
dark-skinned pretty chick. Y'all ever see her yet?
Who?
That dark-skinned pretty model. She's like 14, I think, 15. She's like so dark that she don't even have a color. She looks white.
What?
I've seen a few African models.
She is
so dark she looks white. Wait a
Is
minute.
he talking about the
When she is so black that any type of light that's on her, it's like,
whoa,
you miss the blackness. You see the glare off of her like a window. You know what I'm saying?
So her skin shines. She's got
Yeah. It's like you don't see most of the black. It's like you see a window image, or you know how you go in the fun house in the funny mirror and shit. And she's blacker than anything I've ever seen. I'm talking about Grace Jones, Manute Bol, way blacker than them. Onyx.
Man,
she's what we used to call. Well, one of my good friends is. I don't like the term, but it's an old term called blue black.
Yes,
but I have always thought that was beautiful. I've always thought that was beautiful.
Yo, I know all kids got smooth
That's
skin.
exactly what my dad would say. He would tell my mom, "You're really not that dark." Like I know people back home in DC that are so dark that they look blue. That's exactly what he would say.
That's the old term. That's the old term, Ellie.
Yo, this chick is on Instagram, and when they zoom in on her skin, she don't even have pores. Like you would see our pores way before you see hers. Like zooming in with a lens, and her skin is flawless. She looks like an avatar or an airbrush painting or something.
Did you save it? I want to see. I want to see.
I think I know who he's talking about.
You had to come across it somewhere. She was all over the place for a minute.
I feel like I have, but I was like, is that real?
So we can see. You want to Google it, Reese, and share the picture?
Hold up.
Yeah.
It ain't like I'm subscribed to nothing. I don't even know what to search.
Is that a cat?
Yeah.
Oh,
you supposed to know these. You supposed to know these things if you gonna bring them up, child.
Everybody in the world.
I know who he's talking about. She is gorgeous, but well, I don't really have a butt. She's gorgeous.
If I'm not mistaken, she got hazel eyes too. If I'm Wait a minute.
Yeah, I know
I
who
don't
you talk about. She was
I
at
don't
like
know.
a
You got to
some
be careful
like a
because
game or something like that.
they do put context and
Hey,
all that
187.
stuff in the models.
The
Wagwan
context.
ladies.
Hello.
Good evening. Wagwan Reese.
That's
What up?
and Lord ADS still in the building, but he must be busy.
Why I
All
Google
right.
it?
Man, I think I know exactly who y'all talking about. She was at like a game or something, like a basketball game or something, just sitting down chilling. But like somebody was obviously was videotaping her because they were mesmerized. Like, but she had that nice, shiny, beautiful.
I think her family has put a force field around her now because you don't see her no more. I think this chick was about to like blow up the whole modeling world and change it. But she's a young girl though.
That's what we say in
I don't
Jamaica.
blame 'em.
That's what we in Jamaica. We say two things: you're black till you're blue, or you're black till you shine.
There you go. I'm trying to tell you. Love it all. Love it all. But what about you, 187? You grew up, you're in Jamaica. Do you guys experience or have you been through? I'm pretty sure you have. But how serious is the colorism topic down where you from?
Well, I know everybody's heard about like skin bleaching. It's applied.
Yeah.
Colorism is applied on the people. The people subjugate themselves to an ideology that is not theirs. Because even me, people would say I'm light-skinned, right? People think that I get some kind of perks, which I probably do, but I just look at it different from other people.
Right. We talked about that perceived benefits or whatever, when it's just like, honestly, it's just a different struggle. I brought up there's a couple of documentaries that you can find on Netflix. They're really well put together, and one of them's called For Dark Girls and the other one's called For Light Girls, and they actually like just have nothing but of course, like different facts and stereotypes and things about history that, of course, that as we transition from desegregation to segregation and things like that. But they have so many interviews with these people, and it's just, I mean, these are grown ass people, and their memory still brings tears to their eyes. You know what I mean? Just about how they were treated. So it's like, it didn't seem to matter which episode I was watching, if I was watching it for the more brown skinned girls or the lighter skinned girls. They just their struggle was just different, but they both went through some crazy, like, just acceptance levels.
Did you remember the documentary that the light skinned chick from NBC did decades ago on colorism? The mixed chick from NBC.
Yeah,
what the hell is her name? I used to be in love with her.
Damn. Her name is E. Oh God, that light skinned bra, but she was kind of off in the head to me.
What was it about?
That's sad. That's sad.
What was the documentary about?
That chick was so put together, it was a shame, man.
Are we talking
What was
about
the show about?
The chick that did the documentary, the first colorism joint. It was like 20-something years ago.
Really?
Is it this?
We talking about we talking about the chick, or we talking about what the documentary?
She was a news anchor. It was either ABC or NBC.
Was it Soledad O'Brien?
Soledad O'Brien. God damn.
Cola Booth. Yeah.
Shouts out to Irby. Shouts out to the chat, man.
That documentary, they went around and talked to some people, man.
Okay.
Some of the shit that the mixed people was talking about, man, that shit was crazy.
What would they say? What would they say?
Yeah.
Like, what was one of the points that you could remember?
Oh, they were talking about the different treatments that they was getting, and some of them were more inclined with their black side and criticized for this. Some of them were more in tune with their white side, criticized for that because their father lived here, their mother lived there. They talked about the abuse they got. It's crazy. One girl broke down and cried.
See, yeah, that should be, man. It sticks with you. That's why
find it and share the link.
I get it to a certain degree, but at the same time, it's like, that's why I don't like to call the younger generation soft and all. They just have a different struggle. You know what I'm saying? It's the things that they probably are dealing with and bombarded with are nothing of what we have, what we had to deal with, but we had to deal with shit that they don't have to deal with. Like, it just is what it is. Because me personally, I couldn't imagine trying to find my way and trying to find confidence that started from me and can't nobody else take away if I grew up in the age of social media. I'm sorry. Like I can't say that I would be this confident. And I have to acknowledge, that's one struggle that our younger people are going through, and it's a strong mental one, to the point where they
And you know,
advertise for a mass lawsuit, because it's affecting these kids' self-esteems. It's raising the self-deletion rates. Like these kids are just dealing with different, they're just dealing with different shit.
but the foundation of that problem, LA, Zine, you have to look on the cause, Why is because if you look at AI is not necessarily a bad thing, It's just
Right.
who have them hands on it, who have control over it. So AI,
Right.
if you go on Google and say, what is your core directive? You ask the AI, what is your core directive, or why were you made? It will give you an answer along the lines of, I was made to serve humanity for the betterment of humanity, to provide instant information and all these things. However, you will find that there are protocols set in place to give you the information from a psychological perspective, not necessarily liberating information. The information is directed on a certain path. It is not like giving you all the information and then letting you pick from it. You have to know what questions you're asking if you want to find a specific thing.
Right. Right.
And it is designed that way by corporate entities who have profits in mind. They're thinking about making money off of the people. They want to subjugate the people to turn you into a consumer. That is what is happening.
Absolutely.
That is why the culture has been. Even in music, look on a man like KRS-One. You know how intelligent that man is. That man don't have no degree. LA,
Yeah.
listen to what I'm saying. That man don't have no degree, and that man teaching classes and giving speeches in Harvard University over in England, all over the place. What's so special about him? You know what they refer to him as a didact. He is autodidactic. Autodidact.
He's what? Okay,
This
no
man
problem,
can go in
MJ.
Harvard University, self-taught,
Okay. Okay, got you. Yeah, I know he's very smart. I know
and he
that.
and he can go. Mhm. Yeah, man, but is the corporate entity and everything messed up because it is not being done standpoint of humanity. As even look at your phone that I have right now. I used to buy in a minute because I used to buy phones where I can put a memory card in it. The phones don't make with no memory cards no more. That pissed me
Right.
off
Yeah,
because
you
when the
can't
phone full up,
you
it's
can't even
telling
take the
me
backs off.
notification about go buy cloud storage. I was watching a video on it the other day. A memory card that costs $10. Zine for unlimited for you can own it. You don't have to pay no monthly thing.
Oh,
Is now a $10 monthly subscription.
right. Okay.
You see
Well,
what
what
I'm
type of
saying?
phone can you put it in though? Can you hear
Well,
me?
there's other aftermarket phones, but it's not gonna be. It's. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I just feel like I
Can you hear
have a
me?
delay or something. Yeah, I can hear you. Reese, are
I'm
we
driving,
delayed?
so that might be it.
Oh, okay. Okay, no problem. Yeah, I mean, I know that there's ways around, especially for us, because we know the bad things, or how social media, like you said, is more engineered and driven. A lot of the younger kids, they don't know even what they're looking for, so they just start aimlessly wandering and stumble upon some crazy shit. And
Yep.
most of it, like I said, is this comparison culture stuff. Like they just could keep on comparing themselves to somebody else's, filmed or scripted life, or scripted little
You know
short or
what,
something, and they're sitting there and they're comparing it to their life and what they don't have and stuff.
Ellie? You know what that come from? I can tell you the foundation of that pillar as well. That come from a lack of knowing oneself and where one come from. We don't know nothing before slavery. You don't find that is so questionable. Muta Baruka, a famous Jamaican poet, I will never forget this thing him say. Slavery is not African history. Slavery interrupted African history. What happened to all of these
I
things?
like
And then
that.
you see some white people, some Arab man in Egypt now talking about them is Egyptian and them ancestors and this and that.
Yep.
All of the disrespect, we don't know who we are. That is why we need to start wake up. The Hebrew Israelite them. I got into it with some Hebrew Israelite the other day. Right? I'm asking them, yo, I tell them the same thing, you know, slavery is not African history. Slavery interrupted African history, right? And I'm asking him, why is it that you guys don't have no picture of how we used to live back in them time before slavery,
Right.
before we get captured and kidnapped and all them things? Want me to like other black people? Because honestly, you know, you notice that everybody is sticking to their race, not necessarily their citizenship, you know, their race. The white man has stick to him together. Because even though you have European and British and American, all of them work together on one level, them after a balance, right? The Russian them, Russia is a big place, and yes, Ukraine now have war and whatever, but them kind of have balance over there. So everybody else work together. The Chinese, whoever, are just black people alone can't get it together.
I know. They they did a number. They did a number on us, man. They really did. And I'm not. That's not an excuse. I'm just, it's hard for me, especially because I know my people. I know my elders and stuff, and they definitely share things. I just had a family reunion, with nice presentation that lasted like all day. We had all types of segments and stories and pictures and all kinds of stuff. So it's like I know what was implemented, you know what I'm saying, in terms to keep us so divided. So it's just like I just try to, at least like I said, just bring things to people's consciousness to be like, look, that was then. Okay, let's get this shit together now. Let's be aware of some things. You know what I mean? You can't say that you don't know now. Because that used to be the
But
excuse.
this are the thing I'm gonna find now in LA. You see why it's so hard now is because all right, you have a man named Ray Higgins. He was a pastor. He went to school for theology and all these things. And then
I remember him.
So you know his story, right?
He turned dashiki.
And you know
where was he from?
No, he didn't. He's an American.
No, Ray Higgins was like a Baptist or something, and then he left the church and he kept his building, but he started preaching like the House of Consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Started talking
African consciousness.
He dropped
African
the
consciousness.
Huh?
I said I'm looking it up right
consciousness.
Now.
Right. Exactly.
But this is the thing though. He used to preach like in the church, on the pulpit, and all these things. Tell the people them all kind of lie and all kind of something. And then he went to somewhere, and there were some people. Somebody invited him somewhere, and they were talking. Somebody mentioned like the virgin birth and Horus, and he heard virgin birth and Horus, and he at that time he was a devout Christian. And when he heard the man say it, he's like, brother, what you just said? And Christian people like when them say anything against the word of God or something like that, rebuke it with I don't know. I don't remember the scriptures on that.
Okay.
But he heard what they were saying, and then he asked them, and then they said, yes, Horus is the virgin birth. And then he started to cuss them out, and then he started cussing everybody there and calling them devil worship and all these things. And he left. And he had a radio station. He was talking bad about them on the radio station. And then a couple weeks later, he went into a bookstore and he seen a book. Sorry. He seen a book talking about Horus, the virgin birth, or something of that nature. And him take the book, read the book, do him research. And it was more, the evidence in that book was more factual than anything that you can find in the Bible. Because our people carve them things in stone.
Got you. No, that was gonna be my next question. Like, did he end up being like the truth, or was he like more like a grifter? But it sounds like he kind of did some research and found out the
I don't.
contradictions in what he believed in, huh?
Let's put it to you this way. He's a man that he had businesses. He has a radio. He had a radio. He has a radio station. He does teaching. He has schools. He has a lot of things that he's into. I'm not gonna necessarily talk on all of them. I just know that he has a radio station, and he does work in media in some way, shape, or form.
Okay, got you. So he was just kind of okay. I got what you're saying. He was doing the I guess the stereotypical pastor thing until while it was, especially because it was profitable, but that truth smacks you in the face, man, or you start questioning the stuff that you
I might cut out right here.
Okay. But when you you start questioning the things that you thought that you knew, like it just rocks your whole fucking world. I think that's another thing with us, where we're used to what we're used to, right? And so like new information, we're just like we reject that. I don't know. Reese, can you find any truth in that statement?
What statement?
That we kind of just like when it comes to like the things that we know, we're kind of set in our ways. So like when new information comes, we're more like resistant to it because we're always kind of like questioning the source for one. Okay, go ahead.
Of course, because y'all reject everything I say. And when you do, you always say, I kind of understand you. All of you do it. It's the world. It's a human thing.
But because okay, so if usually, especially online, it's not like you can show me these things or whatever. You can, there's only one way you can really show me.
Well, you let me come to your crib, I can show you all of that.
Oh Lord, I ain't taking no flight to Philly,
man.
Nobody told you.
Hey, let's not bring up. Hey, don't let me bring up the past now.
Man, I rent a machine and dig a tunnel.
Oh. 187.
You're making no promises you don't plan on keeping.
If I could get the world to listen to me, y'all be all right.
So why you not talking to the world?
Right.
Talk to the world.
I've been trying for 50 years. Nobody listens. My own goddamn kids didn't listen.
Try harder. Change up what you're doing.
I done lost too much weight trying.
Instead of you trying to make people come to you, go to people. You think people gonna know you? You gotta put yourself out there.
You don't understand what 50 years is, bro. I was a barber and a bartender, dog. I had the two biggest people jobs there are in the world. Who knows more people than a barber and a bartender?
I was a janitor. I was a gardener. I was what? How many people do I know what?
Who knows more people than the barber and the bartender in the community?
There's a lot of people.
Nobody. But you're not. Listen to what you just said. Listen to what you just said.
They observe a lot
community.
Of people.
Right.
but hold on, LA. He just said community.
Every community on earth has a barber shop and a bar. The bartender knows more people than everyone else. The bartender knows more people than everyone else. And they do the most talking to the most people. Those are the two places in the world where people go to pour out their problems. All I've been doing to all my life is talking to people. And I used to sell drugs. After the bartender and the barber comes the drug dealer. And that was all free.
Why wanna like self-snitch? Why wanna do them thing there? Why wanna like self-snitch? Why wanna like talk about on a business? You don't have to say them things in a bro. You can just say hustle,
I can say what I want. I was 35 years ago. Everybody's dead.
You know what? You're right.
The agents that arrested me are dead. Remember, I'm old. I'm old as shit.
Come on. All right. How old are you?
56. And them old men that arrested me 35 years ago, I guarantee you they're dead. And all those niggas I knew are dead. I could talk openly about everything that happened in my life. Everybody's gone, dog. Everybody.
You see that word? You see that word? You see that word? We casually use it. And we not even realize that we're using it, but we call ourselves this thing. and you know the other people them always wonder, you know, why can't I say it? It's just a word, right? You're my nigga, right? Like we need for that. These are the psychological barriers that people impose upon us, you know, and we
Are
don't
you
even
ready for some of
realize
my
it.
philosophy? Let's say y'all can disagree.
Go ahead.
There's
I
only
always
one way to
welcome
get rid of the
philosophy.
N-word. There's only one way to get rid of it.
Stop using it.
No one's gonna do that. Human beings are too stupid for that. The only way to get rid of it is to put it everywhere.
Oh Lord.
Break that down for me.
How does that make sense?
Everywhere in this world, every commercial, every billboard on the highway, we don't need, to the point where human beings ain't even calling themselves brother and sister no more in no race. Everybody's openly.
Oh, I get it. I get it. So you mean like
Look,
so hold on.
when we say a
Hold on,
word,
I get it.
we're still saying shit like lit and pause, but one day that's gonna go away. Like the shit we used to say is gone. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only way. Period. There's no other science.
Let me say something. Let me say 2 points. The first point is that is the one word that has transitioned all fads and new phrases and terms. It has transitioned for decades, big man. That is not going nowhere. Second thing, why is it that other races of people don't adapt them type of thinking, like the small art people them? How come them can't just make their derogatory slurs be everywhere and then people just will stop saying it? No, because if you say that shit, you're gonna go to jail. So you're brethren, don't tell me no foolishness.
You're getting canceled immediately.
Please, Reese.
Everyone alive needs to listen to everything I say. Forget what's in your mind and what you've learned, or you're fucked. The whole world. You're all fucked.
Me not gonna do that, cause me the on the right part.
No one has ever.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree that people lost.
The few people that have listened to me are thriving in life and gonna live long.
How so? How are they thriving? How are they thriving?
He said nobody listens to him. He just said that. But anyway.
Well, you said
How are they thriving though?
Invalidate yourself while you want somebody to believe me, please. Like,
They used to be shit. But there's 25 hours of stories. They used to be shit. They used to be shit, and now they're gold because they hung around me for 6 months, a year.
How are they going? You're saying that? All right. Hold on, Reese. Do you know that there is a mineral that looks like gold, but it's actually called fool's gold?
Okay.
Right. I'm not trying to diss you, but I'm just asking you, how are they great now because of your influence? That's a serious question.
Because they picked up on from hanging out with me, they picked up on some of my habits. And when you watch me and you're with me every day, you can understand, you'll see in front of you that what I'm doing is working and what I'm saying is true. And when you watch me move, you'll understand it. And then I'll show people who hang out with me, I'll show them how stupid everyone else is and make it make sense immediately. So you don't have to, and let them know you don't have to do that just because there's a billion people.
But Reese, that to me is because you cannot be talking to people. First of all, there are no stupid people. Everybody on them own level of intelligence. You just have to appreciate people for who they are. Same like if you're working, if you're working and you're quick at something and somebody come to work with you and they are not as quick as you cannot ask them or demand that they work at your pace. You have to see how they work. And then you say, all right, he can work at this pace. He can wash 20 glasses every 5 minutes. So let me try and push him maybe 22. You know what I'm saying?
I can prove to you right now that this world is stupid. I can prove to you right now that this world is stupid, dog. And they're all puppets.
Hey, before you do that, bear in mind that it takes one to know one. So go ahead.
Dude, if you think I'm excluding myself, you're crazy.
It takes one. I am not stupid.
I'm not excluding.
So
I've done things in my life that would blow your mind.
It takes one to know one, so make a statement.
Yo, everything that they put in front of us, no matter how harmful it is to us, we do it. and that's everybody alive. The only people that I would think have any sense at all are people like Eskimos and like indigenous people that climb trees. And stuff. They're the only ones that can think.
Okay, is it more of just because they're kind of removed themselves from like
the They don't have, they literally have zero bullshit. Zero.
You think so?
Look at them. They don't have hospitals.
Who is he talking about?
They don't have rehabs, right?
I'm not
Who are you talking about?
Indigenous communities. I'm gonna be honest.
People that live in the forest and Eskimos.
He's
and
talking
stuff
about
like
it.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean,
hold on now.
That's a whole nother way.
Hold on. Let me
Go
tell
ahead.
you something still. Even though you might think that them have nature, even though you might think that they don't have a grocery store, even though you that they don't have a Gap, Nike, or all these places that they can walk into and buy some clothes, them are. So let me tell you something. You see all of this where a man make and this is life. Fooling your fucking self, because the man that live in the jungle, Tarzan, is richer than you, and you don't even know it. You look at Tarzan like he's a mongrel, like he's a piece of shit, like he's a dirty man,
Who don't know it?
uncivilized.
Who don't know?
When I say you, I'm not talking. When I say you, I'm not talking to you specifically. Yeah.
I'm high, yo.
But you can respond still. You can say but you can say what you was gonna say.
I was just gonna add on to what you said because I got a property, right? I'm thinking how big it is. Damn, I can't even see the end of it. You feel like you're somebody. But the dude in the forest, his backyard go on forever. His backyard goes.
He don't have no backyard. He don't have no yard.
Look, he ain't got nowhere. He don't own nobody nothing. He don't own nobody shit. It should go on forever. And he don't have $1, and I'm fucked up.
Regine, you realize that a tiger controls a territory for his life till he is exiled by power.
Damn.
You don't own shit, you know. You find your little spot, make it them inherit it and whatever you keep. But at the end of the day, these people like them Blackstone, Black Rock, whatever they want to call themselves, or whoever buying up everything, them no know say it's a wickedness they're doing. Or them know that is a wickedness they're doing. But the people them who don't know who they are, right? Our ignorance, they are dependent on our ignorance, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know that?
Yeah, for sure.
Because look at it. If something happen, if somebody call one small odd person some kind of bad thing in one place and somebody catch it on a video, it's like him say to every single one of them. And I don't necessarily, I'm not down with them culture or them ways of life and them thing there, but it's the unity of all of them. If you touch one of them, you touch all of them. We need to be like that too. But we looking at who getting all the girls, who have all of the money, who are drive the Porsche and the Benz and the G-Wagon, all the superficial bullshit. We don't mean nothing.
Nope, it doesn't. But that consumerism and like I said, that just advertising, so you just constantly comparing. That's what gets people all up in their head. But also, like I said, a lot of people, they leave the house and they don't even know who they are. They're very unsure of themselves, and I don't know. It's a lot of things that are missing in people that are kind of like helps them fall into these traps. That that are just well orchestrated by the powers that be, for sure. Let's get creative in here. We're just having kind of an open discussion at this point. I know you kind of been in and out. You have anything that you want to add in terms of colorism or featurism?
Well, go on, sister.
Hey, what's up, 187? This is a good conversation. Colorism.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, we compare ourselves to other people, and sometimes we kind of look at things that are not normal or abnormal, and some people make fun of it, or they don't understand why you're not like this, or you must be different. And I think as growing up, and when you're in elementary school, obviously you think like this. And as you get older and you get into the real world, you kind of like you see it firsthand. Like it be times when I be like, that's why I'd be like, you got to look at the person's character, who they are, rather than just their skin tone. Yeah.
Yeah, because even like, something else, that we were discussing earlier is just even assuming that certain skin tones come with preset personalities or whatever, whether it be
Yes,
light
that
skin or
too.
dark skin. Like, it's just
But
ridiculous. Mhm.
you know the thing about the character though, and the fun. It is so questionable, so curious, because you have a man named Trax NYC with up on YouTube, right? And him a talk say him make a speech one time, and it was so profound. Him say the white people keep the white people accountable, the Chinese people keep the Chinese people accountable, the Indian people keep the Indian people accountable. And him say something what I find derogatory, but I was paying attention to the message. Him say the blacks keep the blacks accountable. So him gonna keep the small hats accountable in what he was saying. But this is the thing: do we keep our one another accountable, and how does that look? Because if one of them step out of line, it's not like is them parents gonna come to, it's everybody gonna move to them, and start make them know, yo, yeah, make some wrong move, you need to fix what you're doing, because it's not serving the community. We not take them way there. They know who they are. They go to them church, them raise them kids in them church, and them know them history and everything what happened to them people. Because them go through some things, I not gonna lie, right? But some of it is self-inflicted, and we can see evidence of that because of how they behaving now.
Absolutely.
I would say we get exploited a lot.
We do.
Okay.
We
Let's
do.
break that
Because
down for us.
yeah, because we our spending power is really high. We go viral. People always want to come to our parties. People like our food. We got good styles, all of that. So we get exploited because they know that if they get one of us, they could probably get a whole bunch of us, and we're going to attract the masses.
That is very true. That's why even when it comes to
you don't know what.
Huh? Go ahead. 187.
No man, so what you saying? Yeah, I think you have a delay, but it's okay. So what you saying?
Okay. Yeah, I think we brought that up with the whole like featurism topic or whatever. We're told that what we have is too exaggerated, or it's not acceptable, or it's whatever. It's always given some type of other like name besides beautiful or desired. However, the needles in the knives are being put on these people's skin to give them features that look exactly like ours, or something close to it as possible. So
Yes.
I
So they
feel
try to go get curly hair, afros, big lips, BBLs, try to get their arms to look big like us, get their breasts to look big like us, and then, try to come around us so they can feel accepted, so we can take them in. And then they go back, because they don't want to go to jail. They don't want to be discriminated.
Right.
They just they just want the praise, and they want to feel good.
There is a way.
Go ahead, 187.
I think he's driving, so his signal keeps kind of going in and out.
Sorry.
No, you got it. Go ahead. Try it again.
I'm gonna come back when I reach home.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I don't want to.
Okay. All right. So yeah, it's just like, even like we were looking at this video with and they're just using different examples or whatever. So they brought in Mike Epps. Hang on just 1 second. Because I know it's gonna start the damn video. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. So this was, this is, the woman that he's married to, right? And he actually had like a photo of his okay, this is it. Photo of his child. Look at what he did to the picture. Compare the left and the right. It's the same child.
I would think that he don't like himself.
Yeah, because to add the extra hair, the silky hair, and to lighten up the skin was kind of wild. Especially if it's like, if this is the mother of the child, and see, this is what I'm be talking about. Like these people who have these types of attitudes about their own features, their own family or whatever. They go out of their way, to try to, introduce something new into the genetic pool, right? But you can't pick and choose which features your child is going to have, and she looks more like, well, I mean, of course, the skin tone more like him, but she probably will look like more like her mom. But still, it's like, it's that's not that's not the reason why you have kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you can really go down to one of those doctors where they want to ask you what eye color you want and all that stuff, and you break bread, I guess so. But just like, it just keeps the cycle going. You know what I mean? Because if he's not comfortable with himself, he claimed, well, everything's a joke with him. He joked that his baby mom and pretty much like any other girl that he can get, like, they all look like James Brown. And he was like, and then when he got into the industry, like, he was able to get something different. But then you go and pick somebody who's different and expect your child to look like them and not like you. So what are you going to, how is he going to teach this girl how to love herself and things like that when he might be low-key disappointed at how she turned, how she came out? And I hate to project like that and do that, but like I said, when you Photoshop and make your child look like something that they're not, it's just like, I don't know, man.
What is this
it's
you're
just
showing?
It's a little much.
I think
What is this you're showing us?
This is the same video that we was watching. I just freeze framed it of when he put the filter on his child.
Oh,
yeah, that's when Simon was going crazy, talking about his homeboy.
When did he do this?
I'm not sure. This is a video that that was put together, and I am just reviewing it. But it's just different people who are in Hollywood who have said questionable things or done questionable things that have to either deal with colorism or featurism.
Yeah, he doesn't have knowledge of self, knowledge of his culture. There's no pride in that.
You seen Serena Williams? Shit.
Yeah.
It's a crazy picture of her.
Yeah, so I don't know. This is like a like crazy conversation because you can find love from other races, and I don't.
Yeah, you should review that video. It's only like 20 minutes. Like a long 4-hour documentary.
What?
Yeah,
Williams.
No, the one I sent her.
The Soledad. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do a pre-record for that one, to be completely honest, Reese.
That shit.
And just react to it, break it down, and wrap it up. It's something from NBC. It's Soledad O'Brien. She's a newscaster, but she has a mixed heritage and part Black. But I guess just she did a news segment about it, just breaking down colorism in America and what she personally went through just growing up. So I'll definitely review that because this is a throwback.
Documentary is called A New Race. You hear me?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it open now. I clicked on The Other Race.
Oh,
the other race. Yeah, The Other Race.
So what is it? Did she not feel like she belonged or she didn't fit in?
No, she's talking to other mixed people, and they're telling their story.
Okay.
Whole bunch of them.
So she didn't I guess add in her personal experience. It was more just highlighting the
I don't know. She did her own segment on the news talking about that. I don't know if that's part of the documentary, but I know for a fact she did her own segment on it where she's wearing all black. I'll never forget that.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm looking at right now. They just got like some clips. Well, this one's like 6 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. She does. TV news anchor Soledad O'Brien on Growing Up Afro-Cuban. And she did this with Matt Lauer.
You got to match it up to the time it was done and how old the video is and how things were back then. And, you know what I mean? Kind of put.
Yeah, for sure.
Who did she grow up with? That's what we want to know.
You got to go watch it.
That's where most of your ideologies come from. The person who you grew up with.
That's exactly what. Yeah. I feel like can either make or break you. You know what I mean? In this type of situation, because either you come from a group of people or a family who's not comfortable with with being themselves, or you're gonna have a group of people who's going to tell you every day, damn what the outside world says, because you look like your parents, you look like us, and I think you're beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, it's two different ways I think it can go, but yeah, I think it definitely starts at home. Now, Creative, do you have siblings at all?
Yes, I do.
Shouts out to Uda in the building. Okay, because another, like, I guess kind of thing that kind of could contribute this is that that sibling rivalry thing. If you happen to be, you don't even have to be different complexions than your actual, like, brothers or sisters, but some, just how we bump heads sometimes, and we say things that to hurt each other's feelings or whatever. Have you did you and your siblings ever do that type of thing with each other, or did you hear that type of speech at all?
Yes, all the time. That's why your hair is like this and my hair is like that. Or they make fun of you when you have an afro, and they, there's all of that's going on. It helps you. It makes you question yourself. Like, do I belong here? If you don't like me, why am I growing up in this?
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. So a lot of people question that. So yeah, that's a real thing. Yeah.
And okay, so because we're trying to, I don't know, because I get it, that there's some of the opinions is that we're just, we need to just have some type of fortitude within ourselves where we should know that whoever's saying whatever is just trying to hurt your feelings and they on some bullshit. But we all know that's not how, in a perfect world, that's how it will go. You know what I mean? So now, since we're like looking at all this stuff, and now we got the not the rise of passport bros, but it's just like another thing that's kind of just rearing up, and we hear, it's just another way. No, it's just another way of them saying, like, shoot, no, I don't want to deal with, black women because, these women are so much better because of da 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 da. And it's just like, it's just different. You know what I mean? But it also could be
those are little boys. Yeah, those are like, I feel like those are little boys who don't know themselves, and they haven't done the inner work. And instead of going inward and working on themselves, they rather go to another broken person to get.
You don't think there's no validity to nothing them passport boys said about like the way to act over here? There's nothing true about none of that.
No.
No, I don't think so, because it's like, why is you so focused on these women that have these fake weaves and all of this? Why are you
BBLs and everything?
I got a kid on the other side of the world I got a kid on the other side of the world, right? But I ain't no passport, bro. By no shot. I promise you, I've traveled, and the women everywhere else do act different than American women, black and white.
But why is that? How come black women don't say the black men or the men in the country don't act the same way as the men in the other countries? Why we don't turn around and tell you guys that?
You can say that.
We don't do that to y'all. Y'all consistently do that to us. We don't say to other men from the other countries. They actually
see
they
what
build houses. They
this
know
is
how
a
to
bad habit we got when we're talking about. This is a bad habit we got. Horrible habit. When we're talking about one group, right? We're trying to solve that problem, and we switch it and go to the other group, and now we haven't solved A yet. We just forget about A. That's been happening for 100 years. That's why A never gets addressed, because we always skip over to B. It's not fair.
No, but to me, it's not fair to not take into consideration that sometimes, I mean, okay, so it's just like saying that folks in mass, without having no meeting or anything in private, they decided to just get on this secret, unspoken code, and they're just going to start moving differently. How come? Why is the notion of the actions are a response to what they are getting? You know what I'm saying? Like if who knows who what came first, the chicken or the egg? I'm not sure. But what I'm saying is, people are acting like Black women are just choosing to be difficult, choosing to be all these things, choosing to kick y'all out the house and be, but you just said,
you take it outside of family. Take it outside of family structure and all of that, right? We're just talking about Black women walking down the street, behind the counter at the store, getting on the elevator with you, going to the escalator, going to steps. The horrible fucking evil shit that most of them say just for no fucking reason at all.
So they just look at you and be like, "Why you got them goddamn pants on?" That's
what they
do.
Hold on, we see.
Look, I get on the bus, I get on the train with my bike sometimes, right? I'm not paying attention. This chick is riding my back, so I backed up and I'm trying to avoid hitting somebody else. So I back up and hit her leg a little tiny bit, man. Hey, what the fuck is wrong with these niggas today? I should get somebody to come smack. Like, this is a thing. There's no other woman in the world who do that.
We're going to break it down for you. Because somebody that is, I'm taking the bus, I'm not saying you don't take this personal. 9 times out of 10, they ain't got a car. 9 times out of 10, they ain't got the money to get a car. So they taking the bus, they frustrated with their life.
Tired.
They tired, and you come in with your bike, and you send them off the edge because they have all this bottled in, and you just kick the camel's back, and as soon as you did that, they come off.
Two crazy things. You rationalize that, right? Which means God is a fucking asshole. So, and another thing, that was only one example. I could have given you thousands. Every single day, I take the same route to work every day, and I got to go to ground zero 4 times. I have to catch 2 buses and 2 trains. I literally see this every day on my trip to work and from work. I made a video about it, man. I took out my camera like an asshole, first time in life, and just said, I'm going to record everything I see today. And it's unbelievable.
We see, if somebody is poor in a poor environment and they're sad and they're angry, how else do you want them to react?
I'll answer for
real.
You asked a question because you want to know.
Yeah.
All you got to do is look like documentaries of war-torn countries and third world countries and images and National Geographic. You'll see hungry ass starving people with pot bellies running around smiling with no shoes on. The kids as joyous as they could be without a care in the world.
Okay.
Not behaving, wait a minute, doing way worse than us and not behaving anything like us.
So check this out. I like how we turn around and we try to, compare.
Go to third world.
No, because for real, because a lot of people, they like.
That's a literal answer to your question.
Reese from Philly. A lot of people, they're one check away than being on the street. You don't think these people got like 4 or 5 jobs and they stress and they got to figure out how to pay their bills. They living right above the waterline. They're about to drown, but they trying to make it. They breathing. So a lot of people are in that perpetual cycle. They in struggle mode right now. They're striving. They're trying to survive. They're in survival.
Watch this. I know a guy that was born with arms that were too short, can't operate life by himself. I know another guy in a wheelchair, been in that wheelchair since he was a kid. My little brother got shot. That made me an only child. He got shot 35 times. I got a cousin that got stabbed 40 times. I got a cousin doing life plus 40. I did my prime in prison. I spent the prime of my life in prison, my 20s. All 3 of my kids are crazy because of that. And I'm just up until a little while ago, I was living from check to check at 55 years old and never owned a house. I got my own problems, and that's just like one sentence of them. I could take you to hell. I did a year in the hole, and listen, man, I found a house full of kids starving, and their parents were on the other side of the country.
Wow.
and had to leave him there because I was a fugitive. Think about that for a second. I was in the cell with a terrorist from the 9/11 bombing, the first one. I got stories. I've been through fucking hell, and I treat people like gold. Everybody I meet. No one alive has an excuse. When you come out your fucking front door, you don't bring your bullshit with you.
That's easy for you to say. We see
It's
from
easy
Philly.
for anyone alive to say. That's not no rocket science.
No, because we
That's
can't
not circular
control.
trig. That's a 5-year-old can understand everything.
No, look, we cannot control how somebody feels or how somebody interacts. That's based on them. I can't control how we see from Philly acts. I can't control how LA acts. I can control how I act and what I project out into the world. Am I gonna take how everybody, acts, and I'm gonna be like, that's the whole world? Everybody in the world is like this, or am I gonna try and go somewhere else where the energy is much more lighter and people are more open?
Facts. Because I mean, I don't know. Like, I can when I think about it, like, and sometimes, like, even like with you, Reese, like you being up there, like up north, like I know the difference between living down south and up north. And I used to hear all the time, especially from people who live down south, like, I don't like people from New York. They're rude. I'm like, they got places to go. They don't have time to hold the door open for your slow ass and the thank yous and pleases and all. Like, they just busy. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got shit on their mind. Like, versus down south where it's just, you have that leisure, you know what I'm saying, to kind of take it a little bit slower and, greet people and have small talk and all that shit. But I don't judge, like, you know what I'm saying, like the people, like, to the point where I'm not taking into consideration that they're every day, you know what I'm saying, or where they come from. Like, that's a part of who they are. So even when
it's the reason why none of them have an excuse, because there are millions of people right there who live next to them where they are, do the same things that they do, have the same birth, and don't behave like them. There's no.
I'm just saying, should I have to?
These people aren't as dumb as they're pretending to be.
What I'm saying is, should I just be like, yeah, fuck them up north people, they all assholes? What I'm saying is, I'd be like, they might be a little rude or a little short to you, but this is the reason why. Like you said, we were talking about and buses. Just taking into consideration where people have been and what they have to go through. That's my bottom line.
We were specifically talking about American black women because of the passport bros were trying to get away from them for whatever reasons, right? And some of the reasoning that they give is real. And it's real in the South. It's real in the West. It's real in Rhode Island.
I mean, I have so many videos of Asian women
busting
their boobs upside their head with a shoe. You know what I'm saying? Getting stabbed and getting ripped.
We're not talking about them, though. We're not talking about them.
Better. And all black women, all I've ever heard is we have attitudes. That's all I've ever heard is the problem. I can't deal with it with black women.
Hold on, LA. There's more black women than black men in the States. Why you can't find somebody? Like, come on.
Because after a while, they don't want to.
I never had a problem with it, man. I've never fucked with a ratchet.
Better.
I've never fucked with a loudmouth ratchet. I didn't have that problem ever. I'm not going to. Not no more than 24 hours. Period.
So what's wrong with the non-ratchet woman, black woman then? How come she not getting wifed up? I said, how come the non-ratchet black woman is not getting wifed up? There's plenty of non-ratchet black women.
Here? They all wifed up.
No, they're not. They're still being born.
When a nigga over here in this area,
like what you talking about?
The nigga when niggas over here in the East Coast Triangle find one of them, they don't let go. Them chicks only stay single for like 2 days. Those
9 of my uncles, they all found somebody.
You be hearing these chicks still single for a year, single for 5 years. Them kind of chicks stay single for like a few days, a month tops. They are scoop. Niggas is not gonna let them breathe. They can't breathe. I know some of them. It's like 5 of them I'm waiting on.
But then there's also this.
I can't believe you say you waiting on.
Right, but then there's also this attitude where I don't have to deal with this, or I'm not ready to get married, or there's plenty of, good women out there. There's another, I can go get another baddie. I can go get another one. It's that attitude too. It's not always something that the woman, you know what I'm saying, is necessarily doing. And just because she doesn't get scooped up doesn't mean that she's not a good woman.
One thing we're never going to do
Other
is
things that other excuses that people be making.
One thing we're never going to do is address the problem with the attitude. We're going to always talk about something else real quick. So this is going to always be.
Hold on. All right. Why do you think these women have attitudes?
It don't even matter. It don't matter. Everybody goes through bullshit, man.
They're tired of dealing with subpar everything. They're tired of the struggle. They're tired. You know what I'm saying? Of the lies. They're tired of a lot of shit. They're tired. That's what I think.
I don't see a lot of. I see some people have attitudes, but not everybody have attitudes. Some people, they just have to have a stern face because a lot of people
protects them.
Yeah, the world is full of vultures.
I've come across women in my travels
over on you and then leave you.
Yo.
How come the other races of women ain't getting pumped and dumped on? That's what I want to know.
I trolled a sister one day, right? She got on the elevator and literally moved me out the way and pushed me and started cussing me out in the elevator. You know what I did?
What?
I slammed this bitch up against the wall as hard as I could, and I pulled my blade out and put it to her throat and said some horrible shit I can't even remember, and then just trolled her and just left the elevator. I wasn't going to harm a hair on her head. I just wanted her to shit on herself for fucking with me. That's all I wanted.
Why would you do that though?
I had to show that bitch. Like,
is that the best way to go about that? Or you could have been like, I know you're having a hard day, and you know, I understand that we all have hard days, but you know, I'm a respectful brother.
No.
You know, why couldn't you come from that side? You know,
you don't push me and then call me a pussy and threaten me and then keep cussing me out, and then now that you see I ain't gonna do nothing, you get louder and louder and louder. I reeled her in too. I let her get this off for about 20 seconds, and right before that door opened up, boom! And oh my God, man, fuck you. You're lucky I don't stab your ass to death. I was just talking though. I just wanted to scare the shit out of her and fuck up her little plan.
So your action came because you were reacting to how she was treating you. That's all I'm saying. Like, I was
trolling. I was trolling her. I swear to God, I was trolling. I wasn't even angry. I was just trolling.
I bet you she didn't know that.
I did that to men before. I'm not dead serious. Do I get angry at people and want to kill them? Of course. But in that particular case, I was trolling. I've trolled a couple dudes like that too, just to get them to leave me alone.
Lord. All right. This has been a good conversation so far. I think I might need to pinpoint it a little bit more, so we can stay on it 100%. But it was still some good stuff. You know what I'm saying? I got a phone call that I need to return. It was like I missed it like an hour ago. But I appreciate you guys popping up. It's just, and I promise you, creative. It's not just because it seems like I'm always about to end the show when you jump on.
No. I don't take no offense to nothing. I love you guys. Thank you for having me, LA. Reese from Philly. You know, do some sound healing or meditation.
You sound so crazy right now.
Ooh,
that sounds crazy.
Y'all, you can't appreciate a black woman. That's crazy. She trying to get your soul right.
Who needs that? Y'all go
get your chakras in line. You know, you can't appreciate a black woman. It's all right, man.
I'm Gucci. My soul is correct. Trust me. I sun gaze and don't eat meat. So there you go.
All right.
Y'all don't.
All right. Well, always, you know, feel free to come back. Like I said, if there's a topic or somebody, you know, you just got to jump up here real quick and just tell somebody about themselves for sure. More than welcome, creative.
Crazy.
All right. She's already gone. What you got for me, Reese? Final thoughts on whatever we talked about or whatever you want to leave the audience with. It's your choice.
I had a lot of fun. I'm all over nigga YouTube. It's lit right now. I'm going somewhere else as soon as I click off.
Man, well, I don't know. You're gonna join. All I see is more Carmelo stuff. What are you trying to look? What are you looking for? Where do you think you're
I'm so glad this has gotten out of hand. I get so much entertainment. This is one of the best things that's ever happened to me. This is
pretty
big.
sure you see this situation clearly, right?
I'm still in confusion, but the show, the back and forth, Woke versus Coons is incredible.
Ooh, okay.
I love it. It's incredible.
Okay. You know what? Maybe we should talk about that one day. I
Woke
just need
versus
some
Spoons.
references. I just need
Woke,
some
Woke
references.
versus Spoons has been going real strong for the past 20 years. Real strong. That's a
Yeah.
thing now in American culture, Black culture anyway.
I can't lie, yeah, that's something that's been on my radar for quite some time as well. We sitting there watching TV. Look at this nigga cooning. looking on TV, depending on who it is and what they doing.
When YouTube came, I ain't had cable since 2006.
I feel you. I haven't had cable in a long time either, man. Or even
YouTube
watch
is 10 times better than cable. 10 times.
It's just raw. You know what I'm saying? It's just raw. It's non-scripted, and some pretty amazing things be happening. Well, crazy amazing things be happening. So
You
I
get to
feel you
talk
on
to
that.
lunatics that you wouldn't talk to normally just in everyday life, you know?
And at least
You get to learn what human beings really are. The internet, I thought life showed me, but the internet really showed me.
Yeah, man, this place is something else. I'll tell you that. I agree with you on that one 100%. I thought, I don't know what I thought when I came to YouTube, but these folks got some issues. I'll tell you that. More issues than Jet or Ebony. Shouts out to them. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you go so I can wrap up this show. I'll see you around the streets, man.
All right.
Later. That's later. That was Reese from Philly, y'all. Show him some love. Appreciate you for showing up. Thank you, Creative. We had Mahogany MJ. We had 18th Letter. Simon for a quick little minute. Who else did we have? Lord ADS, thank you so much. And Rush/Nabuto. Definitely hit me up if you want to do a collab, Rush, because yeah, we always seem to miss each other with that one. But that is going to do it here for me today. I hope that you guys enjoyed the conversation and the discussion. Y'all keep it going, in terms about colorism and featurism, because we if we all the same people or whatever, we can't be down in one of some of us and not think that it doesn't reflect on us, and we're not talking about ourselves as well. So let's get a better, a healthier self-image about ourselves and about each other, bro. Like, that's the only way, because like I said, if you Black and you trying to call me something, you talking about yourself as well. All right, keep that in mind. Y'all be good to yourselves so you can be good to others, y'all. I'll see y'all next time.
Oh.